Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ostiarius, but you can call me Osti, and welcome back for this is loud. Welcome back for more The Great Ace Attorney. I don't know how far we're gonna go into episode 4 today. We have done the first investigation and the first courtroom, so now it's the second investigation. Hopefully we can finish this today, and then tomorrow we can do the second courtroom. I'm assuming there has to be a second courtroom because I mean we need a not guilty, and then hopefully tomorrow we can get a not guilty. Tomorrow is Friday. I cannot stream on Saturday and Sunday, and then we have from Monday to Tuesday, yeah, and then Friday is Pragmata. So hopefully we can finish this case in 2 streams, and then the next case in 4 streams. If we can't, maybe I will do an extra stream on Saturday, and then we do an extra stream where I finish the game, and then after we are done, we can continue playing Pragmata. Because Friday we are doing Pragmata one way or another. We are doing that. But we will see. So, trauma suit. Let me just take a look at the court records. Yeah. Yes. Is there anything I still don't know? There has to be some connection to the two of them, but I don't know what. We still don't know much about the escape conflict, but I guess that's what we're gonna do now. We finished breaking his mind, so now let's see if we can fix it and get the information we needed. Dun 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 dun. Okay. I still can't quite believe what just happened. I know. I inquired with the bailiff after the court session was adjourned. It seems Mrs. Vigin was taken to a hospital to recover. Makes sense. Right. The dude was literally mind broken. Mr. Vigin attempted to commit suicide by jumping out of the window of the prison governor office. Okay, I wasn't 100% sure if the window was implying that he attempted to jump, or if it was just like visually cool to see like the window demonstrating the mind break. But I guess, yeah, he did attempt to jump. But ever since then, he completely blocked the memory of those events from his mind. Nobody knew his secret. Not his family, not even the man himself. But I forced it out in the open. Was it wrong for me to do that? No. Did I overstep the mark? No. I wonder you didn't. Bruno! My boy! Oh, Iris. You were miles away. Anyway, I have brewed a fresh pot of soothing tea for you. Oh, thank you. Oh, before I forget, let me just put this here, put this here, and then I can ignore all of this. Yes. You and Susie have an exhausting day so far, haven't you? Oh, I really need to go to bed, I should have done that before we started the stream. Thank you, Iris. How thoughtful of you. Do you happen to know where Mr. Shome is? Let's play a little bit more, and then I will take a 5-second break just to go to the toilet. When we came out of the courtroom back into the defense chamber, he disappeared. Sorry. When we came out of the courtroom back into the defense chamber, he disappeared. Oh, no, I don't. He just suddenly sprang to his feet and left. All he said was, I must leave. I wonder if he's pursuing the mystery of the Inspector Gregson's death. We don't know what he found. He never told us the result of his investigation. Well, you know what Hurley always says, don't you? There are mysteries in this world that should perhaps never be solved. But the construction of a solution come only at the expense of the destruction of something else. What does that mean? He knows very well that when you open someone else's old wounds, you often open your own. He just can't take his own advice and live well alone. Solving mysteries is just too important to him. That is true. But that is what I like about Hurley after all. I suppose there is a lot of great detectives in some way. Sorry, I suppose that's a lot of great detectives. Like, as in, a lot of great detectives are in the USA. Okay, sorry. So then, let's have tea, and then I'll give you a hint. Oh, do you have time, Iris? We established on, like, our first or second encounter with her that she's a gigantic genius and the game never used that tool for anything, which is a bit of a shame. Yes, I have finished this morning manuscript at last, with barely a day to spare before the deadline. Oh, I'm looking forward to it, a brand new story to read in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You know, I always hide Hurley violin in the days before I have a deadline. You do? I'm sure that's very wise, Iris. How sensible of you. Now, my dear fellows, let's make a plan of action before we continue our investigation. What are we... Do we even have any lead for the case aside from waiting to the guy to recover in the hospital and then talking to him? So, how did it go in court this morning? Well, we still don't know the truth about what really happened, but one thing is increasingly clear. Lord Van Zix definitely didn't do it. Oh goody. Yes, that's right. We managed to uncover several new facts as well. Oh, really? And there was another development too, Kazuma. Yes, it's quite clear now. Kazuma-sama is not himself. The way he's acting, it's almost as he is possessed. In other stories, I would just say he's possessed by the anger, he's losing control. But in Ace Attorney, this word has a different fucking meaning. Please don't grow gigantic boobs. Actually, please do, because that would be really funny. I know, I mean, at the end of the proceeding earlier, he was like a bloodhound. He was like a bloodhound. The way he was chasing down Mr. Vidian in Forgotten Past. He's not normally so merciless persistent. What's going on in his head, I wonder? I really need to sit down with Kazuma and try to understand what he's going through. You really need to talk. Just invite him for lunch. Invite him for dinner. He's your boyfriend. Come on. Spend some time with your boy. Gregson really was murdered the day before his body was discovered. And Lord Van Zix has to be innocent, you see? What, the day before? Well, that should be easy enough to prove out just by examining the corpse, surely. Yes, you would expect so, but curiously, no time of death was included in the autopsy report. And why have the coroner... Sorry? Ugh. Why have the coroner not been sent to testify yet? Maria Gorey, the coroner, not coroner, coroner. The time of death, no time of death was included in the autopsy report. That is curious. There are still unanswered questions about Lord Van Zix, though, aren't there? Ah, do you mean... I mean, what was he doing there on Fresno Street that day in the first place, investigating? Well, we know what he was doing, we don't know why he was doing. We know he was investigating, we don't know what exactly why he thought he should be investigating Gregson. According to the main testimony, he said he was investigating Inspector Gregson, did he? And it turned out that little room was actually the Inspector's secret office. That sounds like it has all the makings of a wonderful Delvish plot. Gregson is dead, Iris. But then, what was the notice board in there covering in all sort of particular papers? Papers about cases with a link to the Reaper. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about all this. Oh dear, that sounds more like something horribly devilish. We must start by looking into Inspector Gregson's movement of late. I never imagined I might have to investigate the Inspector's movement. Well, according to the entry in his diary, he was carrying out an incognito investigation into He was carrying out an incognito investigation of the Red-Headed League the day before his death. Oh, you mean he was doing the same thing as Hurley? I do believe with the whole story with Daly was acting as him so he could have 3 days. So I do think the investigating the red hair group was just like a fake investigation, just to have Daly be doing something so he could put something as done for the day while he continued doing his secret investigation on Strongheart. So I do think checking the red-headed is the wrong path. Well, anyway. Well, Mr. Sholmes was trying to apply whenever Inspector was supposed to be investigating. I do wish it had been the other way around. Anyway. Why is this kind of working as a recap? Do we need a recap? I guess they could assume that the player would take a break between to be continuous, like I did. But I don't think I needed a recap. Turns out the inspector who went to investigate the Red-Headed League that day wasn't actually Gregson. It was Mr. Vigin, in possession of Gregson's identification. You know what that sounds like to me? Establishing an alibi. Oh my, yes, you are absolutely right, Iris. Why would Gregson need an alibi? It would appear that the inspector have something to do that he wished to keep a secret. I don't believe it. I always thought he was just a harmless lover of fish and chips. Perhaps they were seasoned with something a little more potent than salt and vinegar. I think perhaps we should try to move away from food analogies. Nah. Anyway, if Lord Van Zix felt the need to investigate Gregson, yes, we must try to find out what he knows. Virginia, you say? Isn't that the name of the lady who came to visit Hurley yesterday? That's right. To ask Mr. Sholmes if he would help her find her missing husband. Only Mr. Sholmes completely passed the buck to us. Oh, sorry. Actually, didn't you say that Mr. Vingen have been taken to the hospital? I will never say this name in the same way twice in a row. Do you know which one? Ah, it's Saint Saxiner. I'm starting to wonder if all those other hospitals in London have closed down. Well, that is amazing, Bruno. You found the lady husband already. Well, I suppose I have by accident. And not when we were looking for him. And 10 years ago, while Mr. Vigin was the chief warder at the prison, he was responsible for overseeing the professor in incarceration. No. So when the convict escaped, he was held responsible when immediately dismissed. Okay, so he ran away, then they shot him? No, they just kept... The execution was a fake execution to hide the fact that he ran away. He did run away, and then they catch him, killed him, put him in the grave, but they didn't actually finish the job. They didn't put him alive. Because if you wanted to fabricate his death by putting him alive, so he would live out the grave, and then you shot, and then you put him back, so you don't show that he died in the execution, you could just kill him when you put him in the grave. They generally thought they killed him, and then they made a mistake and just, haha, you fail at it. You roll a natural one. Sometimes I really don't want to grow up. There is more. For 10 years after that, while he was ostensibly working as a peddler, he also had another secret job. He was paid by Gregson to be his stand-in, to impersonate the inspector. Impersonate Gregson? But why? I have absolutely no idea. Sorry, there is just something weird in here. Or am I crazy? I'm crazy, okay. Let me put this a little bit to the left. Okay. Ginny was right. I'm starting to think our adults are up to no good. Including you, Bruno. I haven't paid anyone to impersonate me, yet. That means he has started the professor, and to Inspector Gregson, though. So I do think we ought to pay a visit to Mr. Vigin, don't you? Back to St. Sinners, then. Well, I think it's clear what we need to do, isn't it? Let us investigate, my dear fellas. Oh, Iris, you're even more enthusiastic than usual today. If anyone has anything to hide, my special Wilson shooting item will set them straight. That water piston? It's stuffed full of piping hot, extra special blend of mine. Then I'm quite sure it'll be very efficient? Effective. Holy shit, head. I better be careful not to hide anything. Well, it feels a little strange that Mr. Sholmes is nowhere to be seen, but still. Let's go and see what we can find out. Yes. Okay, we're going to go to the prison. Let me just take a second to go to the toilet and we will continue. Sorry about that. Okay. Shit, I missed the line. Where is he? Oh, it's me. No, not here. Huh. Okay, let me take a look around. The patient treatment notes. Then is to jump from windows. Remember to place cushions at the base of wall outside. Ah, holy shit, you don't need to go there. I really start you up from the ground here. Oh dear, poor Mr. Vigin. I can't help feeling that there is a better solution to the problem than cushion. Finding something you lost isn't always a happy experience, it turns out. Pursuing the truth can be very dark business sometimes. Yes, I'm afraid it can. See here. This notice caught my eye before, actually. I suppose it's some sort of slogan for the ward. A cheerful welcome message, perhaps? Let's see. Babe with good cheer, live with good cheer. Look at that, you're spot on, Mrs. Atto. It's full of cheer. I wonder how many decided patients pay their medical bills with good cheer, though. Must have a very painful injection when I fell ill with a cold. I felt awful already, so why did I have to suffer the sting of the injection as well as the bill? I yelled at the doctor. Oh dear, what terrible treatment. I hate needles, but that's a different story. Look, a pair of crunches. Before we came to Britain, I haven't realized they were used here as well. I imagine they were imported into Japan from Great Britain in the first place. Oh, so no one in all of Japan broke a leg before their arrival. Anyway, the sight of these things don't bring back good memories for me. Oh dear, did you injure yourself once and need to use some? When I was little, I thought they looked fun, so I borrowed a pair to play with. I slipped and sprained my ankle. Good job! See? They contain powerful magic, these wood staffs. The power to heal and the power to harm. I think a certain cheeky little boy managed to cause the harm all by himself. Naruhodo, you are a mess! Patient treatment notes. What do they say, I wonder? Endless obliging. I suppose that's referring to the patient in this bed? I would think so too, and until Mr. Vigin is a little bit more stable, it's probably just as well that he was kindly person in the neighboring bed. It's probably just as well that he has a kindly person. Okay. The endlessly part is a little worrying though, isn't it? I mean, what if Mr. Vigin suddenly clear that he would like to take a trip out of the window? Would this endless oblige patients simply open it for him and say be my guest? Let's check with the doctor. Okay, I don't think we do actually need to investigate this place first. We need to come here later. Let's look around. Also, okay, I'm going to assume there is nothing new here for now. Yeah. Okay, Van Zix, why were you investigating Gregson? Yes, cell 1. Huh. Lord Van Zix is reading. Look. It doesn't seem like he wants visitors, does he? But he must have noticed that we are here, surely. What do you Nipponese want? There is no way to create a lawyer who is trying his hardest to prove your innocence, is it? Perhaps not. I apologize. So, what can I do for you, Mr. Naruhodo? Aww, you broke his cold, frozen heart. Arvanzix is speaking in earnestly. Oh, the fog will lift over London for the first time in months tomorrow. Months? This does feel very strange. I must say, I was impressed. Well, thank you. Not by you, by our fellow Nipponese, the prosecutor friend. Oh, I see, yeah. It's sardonic, don't you think? Sardonic. Grimly mocking, cynical. It's cynical, don't you think? For a man such as me, so loathing of the Nipponese, to be entirely at the mercy of the two of you. Ironically, I guess it's better in that case. I suppose. It's retribution for having played the part of the Reaper all these years. Played the part. I thought you didn't know anything about the Reaper. You once told me that you gladly allow people to believe you were the Reaper. Just refilling my water. Because it helped reduce the amount of serious crime that took place in London. Allegedly. If keeping quiet and playing the part benefits the cause, a cause I myself am committed to pursuing, then why would I choose to say anything? The henchman of the criminal killed by the Reaper attacked you only the other day. That was just the most recent of many attempts on your life, wasn't it? Someone is clearly profiting from your silence about all this. Someone is using you. Strongheart. Believe me, ever since the Reaper first appeared, I've been doing my utmost to expose him, or rather, expose the organization. Oh, the whole organization. It's inconceivable that all those accidents were orchestrated by one man. No, the Reaper always appeared to have very accurate information about the accused in each case, which can only mean that someone at Scotland Yard is involved. What you cannot mean. It took me many years, but I finally identified the central figure in this Reaper organization. Tobias Gregson. I genuinely thought for a second you were going to say Strongheart, and we were actually going to start getting somewhere. No. Are you assuming that Gregson was connected to Strongheart doing the Reaper business? And he was silent because he knew too much? So, the reason you're investigating Inspector Gregson is because you intend to expose him as the Reaper. As I said, the Reaper of the Bailey is no single person. It's a highly secret organization with close ties to Scotland Yard. But there is no doubt that Gregson was a key member of that organization. I don't believe it. Are you saying then, Gregsley, that he was behind all those awful criminals meeting there? Gregson didn't do the dirty work himself. He was a tactician. His job was to covertly investigate the marks and plot their assassination. In order to do that without arousing suspicion, he regularly needed a firm alibi. Which is where Mr. Vision came in, posing in as the inspector. Vision knows nothing of the Reaper, but the room he rents on Fresno Street was almost certainly the headquarters of the operation. Gregson will have to meet the assassin there for briefings, so we don't actually know who carried out the killings then. Actually, I do have a name. You are? Well, if you can name the man, you have the true identity of the Reaper already then. Or, if I can name the woman... Oh. She's a young woman by the name of Asa Shin. We have seen the word Shin before. No, the coroner of the third case was a different... I have seen the word Shin before. Wait, what? Oh! How stupid am I, assassin? Holy shit, why that took so fucking long? Oh, oh God. Okay. Shin. Miss Assassin. Oh, that was her name. How did they not connect that her name Assassin was the oh my God, I'm fucking stupid. Oh. Okay. The true name of the terrifying killer are known only too well. Okay. That she was an assassin from the British Empire, we already knew. Like, I already knew. How did they not connect assassin as assassin at the beginning? Ooh. Okay. The true name of the terrifying killer I know only too well. Did we ever learn that her name was Assassin at the beginning of the place? She came to Japan posing as a visiting student and murdered Dr. John H. Wilson. Then, just when it seems that diplomatic protection could help her escape Japan and conviction, the mysterious woman was herself murdered in a small summer beach hut. The woman was actually the Reaper of the Bailey. And is that why Gina... Because McGilded wasn't killed by her, McGilded would be killed by the JoJo guy from Case 1-5 as revenge. But the other... How many was it? 19? Beforehand would have been her? So Naruhodo, this perhaps isn't the place to discuss. No, of course not. We cannot talk to Iris about it. The fact that she killed Dr. John H. Wilson, because Iris doesn't know, it's very likely that the man was her father. We're really gonna keep her identity the identity of her father a secret from her. Assassin. I should let father know at once. Yes, I agree. Kazuma, isn't it? Kazuma Asogi. You said he's a friend of yours. My best friend. My roommate. He's the whole reason I got to come to Britain, and it was all on his merits. I have nothing but respect for him. Yes, I understand that only the very best students are selected for such opportunities. And I have a fine demonstration of how sharp he is in the proceedings earlier today. Him said nothing. In fact, his flawless performance very much reminded me of his father, Genshin Asogi, the professor. It's true, the aristocracy at the time was the root of numerous grave societal problems. They were abusing their power. Okay, so he was a guy going and not killing, but putting nobles behind bars. Okay, so he was a scapegoat because the nobility hated him. Okay. They were abusing their power, playing with the common and espousing politics, in economics, and in war. In many ways, Asogi was carving out a clunker from society that we British couldn't deal with ourselves. I see. But that is precisely why it makes no sense. Clint Van Zix was a noble and upstanding man. He wasn't corrupted. Why did that damn Nipponese have to go and take my brother's life? Because it was a mistake? In spite of having once saved mine, he saved their life. How did that happen? It was 10 years ago, on a foggy night. What was to be the professor's final strike have sent a wave of panic throughout the capital. So Clint Van Zix have already been killed at this point then. Genshin and I were walking down some back streets at a late hour. Oh God. Sorry. Of course, at that point, I have no idea the true nature of the man at my side. All of a sudden... Don't make a peep. You're coming with us. We're surrounded. Oh, he has the bandana. Oh, our assailants were armed with pistols, their face obscured by scarves. Clint was not only from noble heritage, he was a brilliant prosecutor as well. Scum of London hated the sign of him, and they have no sympathy for his younger brother either. I've been targeted several times before already. Yeah, it was Van Zix alright. We got him. I could hear the murmuring around among themselves. I knew they were after me. But just when I thought my time had come, if I let them kill you, Clint will never forgive me. Okay, I just noticed that he has a very prominent red ring, which I'm going to assume it's also going to be important at some point. It was Asogi's voice, just a whisper in my ear. And then he cut the bullet in two. After that, I don't remember exactly what happened. The next thing I knew, there was silence all around. Genshin lay on the cobbled street. Blood was seeping from his left hand. He half shooted me. 2 days later, they arrested him on suspicions of being London's most notorious mass murderer ever, the Professor. How awful for you. All at once, I lost my brother. I lost the brother I revered and the foreign friend I held in such high regards. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zix. What are the odds of him still being alive? That is the end of my miserable tale. I never thought I would recount it to anyone. Oh, thank you for confiding in me. Can you tell us about the trial already, please? The Professor, the Reaper, Inspector Gregson. I wonder just how intimately related they all are. I can't quite believe that Gregson was essentially the Reaper, giving assassination orders to Jesali Brett. So now, Hodo, let's go and inform my father. I'm sure our government will want to hear about this new information. Oh, that means I get to meet your daddy, Susie. Hooray! Yes, alright. Can I trust your father at this point? Let's head back to the Great Waterloo Hotel then. I can trust the judge. Because the judge didn't know about Brett. Because if he knew about Brett, he wouldn't have conducted the trial the way he did, and he would have just let us have gone into jail and keep her out. So he wasn't on it. Are you on it? Are you two just on Asogi's side and you're here just to help us? Is one of you gonna betray you and be in alliance with Strongheart? In that case, it would be Mikotoba because it wouldn't be the judge. You have directly helped Susato on her trial, but that was a different story. Did you directly help us with the Brett trial? You did? No, you did, because you gave Susato the document with the poison information to give to us. Yeah. So maybe not. I do think I can trust the Japanese government for now. Lord Strongheart is the true mastermind. Gregson was involved? Maybe. We need to check. We haven't confirmed that. Great Waterloo Hotel foyer. Why today? Why so early? I thought it yesterday, and I think it again. This place is so princely. It's a wild guess, but I have a feeling you'll think the same tomorrow too. My tea has a fine fragrance than whatever they are serving in the tea room here, though. Wouldn't you say? Ah, look what we have here. This is an unexpected pleasure. Ah, father. Oh, it is your daddy, Susie. How lovely. What a charming young lady. And you are... Ah, really? So you're the author of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, are you? That's me, Iris Wilson. That was a very, lady-like bow. I do remember in the first game I have this theory that she was going to be royalty or something because of how Gregson was treating her. That's me, Iris Wilson, at your service, sir. Susie has been a wonderful friend to me over the last year, you know? Well, Miss Wilson, I must say I read your work regularly and with much interest. Iris actually lives with Mr. Sholmes, you know, Father? Is that so? Well, perhaps there goes some ways to explaining the bright look in your eyes. Hehe. You wouldn't be smiling so early if you knew just how bright she is, believe me. Now, young Naruhodo, it was a pleasure seeing you in action earlier. As an invite of the symposium, I was allowed to observe from the gallery after I twisted some arms. I must say, it was truly exemplary performance. It was a truly exemplary performance. Wow, thank you very much. Although I'm very sure you omitted by Kazuma on the end there. No, please don't misunderstand. It was you who impressed me. Really? You didn't miss a step against Asugi, and we all know how capable he is. Really, to have matured into such a fine defense lawyer in less than a year, it's quite extraordinary. It's very kind of you to say so, and really nice to hear. What I saw in court today confirmed what I have been hoping for. The favor I mentioned yesterday, Naruhodo, I trust you haven't forgotten. You didn't tell us what the favor was, did you? But first, we have something to report, Father. Of course. Shall we take tea while we discuss matters further? I wonder where Judge Jikoku has gotten to. We haven't seen him in a while. And there was also that conversation about the gigantic truck. And I did connect that to Jikoku's, but it could have been just a trunk carrying the body of Gregson. Father, do you know about the so-called Reaper of the Bailey? I have heard rumors. Some members of the judiciary explained it out to me yesterday. Of course, when I was a visiting student here in London, the Reaper was yet to emerge. Sorry. Right. It didn't appear until after the case when the visiting student have already returned home. Lord Van Zix, who was in the dock today, that was Barak, the younger brother of Clint Van Zix, I believe. That's right, and he's known throughout London as the Reaper, as you have heard. But the truth is, it wasn't him behind all those mysterious deaths, it was somebody else. See? What you're saying is there is a professional killer at work here. Exactly. Someone by the name of Asashin, in fact. I beg your pardon. Did you say Asashin? You mean that Jesale Brett woman was responsible for killing my great friend? Oh, a friend of yours was killed. Professor Mikotowa, I think perhaps we shouldn't discuss this right now. Because the friend... Okay, we don't need to recap. Ah, I have just remembered something. Biscuits, this hotel has the most delicious looking biscuit. That was rather out of the blue. She's doing this deliberately. I think I will go and see if I can purchase some. I wonder, would you like to come too, Iris? Oh, yes. You just try to leave him behind. So, that young girl. Called Iris Wilson, is she? Yes, that's right. And she's the author of all those adventure stories starring the great detective Sholmes. But the name of the credited author isn't Iris, is it? It's Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, I know. That is the name of her father, you see? Her father. Dr. John H. Wilson. I was deeply indebted to the man for all the kindness he showed me during my time in London. That is why I was keen to reciprocate and invited him to the Imperial Yume University 4 years ago. But he was murdered last year by Jesale Brett. Why? Why would the hand of the Reaper stretch all the way to Japan? Iris knows nothing about that case, but it seems very likely that the victim, Dr. Wilson, was her father. Well, I can't say that we ever spoke about his family, so I don't know if I have a daughter or not. but I think I can say with some certainty that he was never the great detective. That he was never. But I can say with some certainty that he was never the great detective's partner. Huh. So it could have been another Dr. Wilson, you think? Well, John and Wilson are both common names after all. Still, probably best not to mention this to the young lady until we can be sure. That is what we thought, yes. We are back with cinnamon biscuits. Oh, they smell delicious, Iris. I think cinnamon will go very well with the tea they serve here, don't you, Susie? Yes, I'm sure you're right, Iris. I haven't heard of Judge Jigoku for a while, have you? You have so much style, my dude. Okay, don't need to recap that. No, now that you mention it, I haven't seen him since this morning either. Oh god, is he going to be the victim of the final case? Is he going to be dead for some reason? I suppose since the symposium opening was postponed, we have gone to explore at the Great Exhibition. That reminds me of something. Is the Great Exhibition not over? Is the terrorist still open to exploding? It reminds me of something you mentioned yesterday. About Judge Jigoku having once been the doc himself. Ah, yes. He was all tied up with that accursed trial. They call it a trial of Kazuma's father. Seshiro was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took to the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and actually managed to break the witness stand. Oh. He also said some contemptuous words about the British Empire, for which he was charged. Oh dear. Although it's really easy to imagine him doing that. Okay, so he wouldn't be the one making a deal with Strongheart, if that is a plotline. Can I trust you to... Why do you have in your desk a book of the Hound of Baskerville? Well, it was alright in the end. He was acquainted, and we returned home to Japan together. Thank goodness. You are more connected to this case than we think. Yes, talking about Seshiro. I have a copy of the photograph we all took together here yesterday, please. Okay, this is going to be evidence. Why? How? This has been shown to us twice. This is evidence. The big trunk? No, it cannot be you. You are the one who killed Gregson and used your big trunk to carry, but that's just... No, wait, I want to trust you. You look so good on a suit. You have bigger shoulders than I thought. He suddenly seems to shout, "We arrived in Britain." Oh fuck, it's stuck. Oh god, it's already a clue. It's already evidence. And okay, aside from... It could not be... It could be used as something aside from evidence for the courtroom if we use... to present it to someone to help them with something. But if we are going to use this in a courtroom, I genuinely cannot think of anything but the big truck. The big trunk is too important. Let me just... Photograph taken in the foyer of the Great Waterloo Hotel on the morning of Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku arrival in London for the symposium. None of us have any idea what was coming when we took that, did we? No, that's not true. That's so true. Sorry. Oh, you mentioned a favor you'd like to ask me. Well, this is this fateful trial that you are fighting. One way or another, it will be over before long. And when it is, I'd like you to accompany me back to Japan. You want me to... What? Father, what is the meaning of this? Now, Susato, you should understand. You have seen our courts work firsthand. The Japan judicial system is in its infancy, especially when it comes to defense. You mean the Supreme Court of the Judicature is in desperate need of a good defense lawyer? As soon as possible, really quite urgently in fact. Did Strongheart ask you to do this to remove me? Can I trust you two? But I have not even been in London a year yet. I have read all of Susato's reports. I'm well aware of your extraordinary talents. And I've seen you in action with my own eyes earlier today, there is no question. You, Naruhodo, are precisely the man our country needs. So, you believe in them, Bruno? But then, what am I supposed to do, Father? You came here to save sorry, oh my god. Let me grab some more water. You came here to serve as Asogi Judicial Assistant. Let me swap bottles. You can continue doing that, I guess. Oh, yeah, she's supposed to be Kazuma's assistant. There, right, then this here. This is here. Okay. Yeah, she's supposed to be Kazuma's assistant. Our government is still in the process of deciding how to best deal with this situation, though. You always choose your own path, Susato. And I trust your judgment in this matter also. Father. Please, the pair of you. Don't look so downcast. It's merely a suggestion, you understand, I hope. If I'm honest... sorry. It's merely a suggestion, you understand? I hope, if I'm honest, but I won't force you. All I ask is that you consider it and come to a decision by the time this trial concludes. Yes, alright. I'm assuming this is going to be a short investigation so we can do back to the courtroom. Because there isn't that much to investigate aside from talking to Virgin. You want to leave, will you, Bruno? Ugh. The thought haven't even crossed my mind. Up until now, I have just been trying to do what I believe to be Kazuma's will. But it turned out he's still alive. So, where does that leave me? Talk to Kazuma! Well, if you excuse me now, I need to telegraph the government ministers and the Japanese police with this information about Asashin. Of course, Father. Thank you. Did I not realize Asashin was assassin the first time, or did I realize and I just forgotten? I look forward to next month's installment, Miss Wilson. Oh good, and please, do come to Baker Street sometime, won't you? We love to entertain you. I'll be delighted. Best of luck for tomorrow, Naruhodo. And give my suggestion your full consideration, won't you? Yes, I will. Going back home. You know, Kazuma-sama has always meant a great deal to my father. I'm sure he will have the chance to meet with him and talk to him about all of this. Yes, no doubt. Asashin. Of course, it's so obvious. It really is. It really is. How could I have neglected to consider the possibility before now? Mr. Sholmes. Charlie, where have you been? Why, I joined you all for tea, of course. What an extraordinary question. I didn't notice you at all. No matter, no matter. Anyway, there are more pressing concerns. Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah? I must dispatch a telegram to your country at once. It's a matter of much urgency. To Japan, you mean? Tell me, to who can I entrust the task? Quick now, who? Well... My father has just now left to send a telegram to the Imperial Police Bureau of Japan himself. I see. Well, he looks reliable enough for a bearded fella. I don't think my father sports any conceivable... sorry. I don't think what my father sports could be considered a beard, Mr. Sholmes. He has a mustache, doesn't he? Yeah. There is not a moment to lose. Kindly ask your trusty unshaven father to see this scent. I will, but what is it? No question at this time, if you please, Miss Usato. All we can do is pray. That for once, my deduction is a ray. Don't worry, it always... Doesn't that... yeah. Doesn't that imply your deductions are normally correct? Now then. You may be surprised to learn that I'm a very busy man. I certainly have no time to hide behind seats and eavesdrop on other people's conversation. But that's what joining us for 2 minutes. I leave the sending of this in your hands then, my dear fellow. Wait a minute, Mr. Sholmes. He just ran off, didn't he? At quite pace. And left unpaid bill for his team behind you. I must catch up with father at the telegraph office at once. And I'll run and call us a cab straight away. And there was me thinking everyone would be clamoring to pay Mr. Sholmes' bill. Oh, do we not have to go and pay the bill? Nice. Just clicking random. I thought, yeah, maybe Kazuma was going to be here, but I guess strong hearts are all here. No arguments, Prosecutor Asugi. You will continue with the trial exactly as I instructed. Is that clear? Perfectly. Ah, Kazuma-sama. The fine Lord Strongheart by the sound of it. He never did know when to back down. That's a weird hand position. Is he like supposed to be like holding his wrist, but they couldn't animate it correctly? Because then his shoulders would go way too backwards and it would look weird. No, you can position the hand somehow better than this. This is weird. My lord? Kazuma? Kazuma, we need to eat dinner together. Come on. He left without saying a word. Yes, what are you doing here? Oh, well... I was just hoping to ask you a few questions if you wouldn't mind. How was Van Ziek's trial concluded today? The Prosecutor Asugi, unwelcome inquiries are going to make it take longer than unnecessary. Unwelcome inquiries. As a result, I'm losing even more precious time. Currently 2 hours, 55 minutes and 41 seconds. 42, 43, 44, 45. Then we must resolve everything before 3 hours have passed, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a miraculous not even 5 minutes. Anyway, I cannot let the man's obvious bad mood put me off. I need information. Does the Prosecutor Asugi believe that Lord Van Zieks is the Reaper? I wouldn't know. It was 10 years ago, in that fateful closet trial, the Lord Van Zieks made a name for himself among the judiciary. But the next trial he fought, he lost. It meant the ringleader of a criminal organization was acquitted, thanks to all the jurors being under duress. But that's awful. Yes. The man's freedom was short-lived. He lasted just 3 days. Yes, let me see. He died in a rock slide at his place of work, I believe. Correct. That was the inauguration of the Reaper of the Bailey. And people believe Lord Van Zieks was responsible. He was brought to trial himself, but it was shown to have been an accident. So he must have a solid alibi then. Nevertheless, the mysterious death continued. In total, 16 persons perished in unusual circumstances, ostensibly by the hands of the Reaper. That is a long run of coincidences. Well, the Reaper true identity may well be revealed by this trial. And the impact of the revelation would have on the British public cannot be understood. Is that why it's a closed trial? Precisely. This country hasn't seen a closed trial for 10 years. So the last one was the professor, the trial of Genshin Asugi? Correct. Actually, we heard that originally you were going to prosecute the trial yourself, Lord Strongheart. Van Zix entreated me to relinquish the prosecution to him, that he might avenge his brother's death. And here we are, 10 years later, with the son of the man Van Zix have condemned, now looking to avenge his father's death in the same way. They do say that what goes around comes around. However, it would seem that the new young prosecutor is harboring some ulterior motives as well. Interior motives. I like my organization to run smoothly, in the exactly manner I prescribe. As with the giant clock in here, I won't tolerate a single cog being out of step with the others. That's what these gears are about in here. Yes, setting the mood. If the young man refuses to mesh with the other parts of my grand machine, I will be forced to take steps. What do you mean? Not something with which you need to concern yourself. In any case, all your questions have been answered. Will be answered tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a short investigation. Now, I have to ask you to excuse me. As of this moment, I have been delayed from attending my next meeting by precisely 3 hours. Oh, that is a long time. And I hold you entirely responsible. Even though we miraculously did manage to fit everything in not even 5 minutes. I wonder if we might agree to us talking with Prosecutor Asugi? Discussions between the defense and the prosecution outside of the courtroom are generally frowned upon. However, I'll make an exception in this case. Go. You can find him in his office. Oh, thank you. Let's go see him at once, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm not my best friend, but I'm really not at all sure I know how to talk to him at the moment. Oh my god, why are some basic sentences confusing me? Oh, he's using Van Zix off. So, this is the office of the Professor Asugi now, is it? Kazuma-sama is doing so well for himself. He's so proud. Even though he's always forced to kneel on the floor, Japanese style in that dark room. Sorry, in that dark corner. Come on, let me click history. Sorry, I'm making a bunch of mistakes. Yeah, it's his habit to sit Caesar style whenever he's working. Kazuma. I thought it wouldn't take long before he paid me a visit to Ryonosuke, but I was expecting it would be on the first night. I was right about what I said, wasn't I? Sorry, that you have all the makings of a great defense lawyer. Well, I always believed that you have fulfilled your dream of advocating. I always believed that you have fulfilled your dream of advocating in a British courtroom. I just never imagined for 1 second that you would. I always believed that you would fulfill your dream of advocating in the British courts. Just never imagined you for 1 second would be as a prosecutor. Seeing you standing in foreign courtroom so gallantly realizing your dream, Kazuma-sama, I'm truly happy for you. And I'm truly thankful to you, Judicial Assistant Mikotoba. You can call her for her first name, man. Come on. Ryunosuke. I always thought it would be fun for you and I to shake up the British legal system a little together. It isn't quite how I envision it, but I suppose it's just another twist of fate. I have learned a lot of things during my stay in London. About how Susato-san's father was himself a visiting student here once, along with Judge Jikuku, and about what happened with her father. Then you have no difficulty understanding why I have to find a way to get to British as a visiting student myself. I want to hear it from you, Kazuma. As you wish, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Will you... It's getting on for a year now since what happened at the SS Buria. The worst fucking case. They were heading across... Oh, we don't need a fucking recap to the worst case. I must say, I must have been unconscious for a long time. When I awoke, I was lying on a bed. It was a narrow little room. There was a pose of flowers by the pillow. It took me a little while to realize that I was in the cabin of a ship. I slipped out of the room and headed up to the deck. Were you already suffering from amnesia at that point? Yes, I didn't know what had happened or where I was. There was just this voice in my head. You have something to do, something no one else can know about. Go to Great Britain, your task awaits you there. It was a calling I couldn't ignore. It compelled me relentlessly. Out on deck, I saw there was a huge steamship and we're docked in a large port. Sorry, I was on a... Must have been Hong Kong. Yes, it must have been. Presumably just before they were due to carry your body off the ship. I have no idea of the situation, but I did have a feeling that this was in some way my last chance. So I concealed myself among the disembarking passengers and went ashore. Then, I disappeared into the crowded streets of that foreign port city. Okay, so... Sherlock didn't mean for you to do that? He have a plan for you and just didn't have anyone watch you in case you start walking around and do shit yourself? Okay. Yeah, it has been established multiple times that Sherlock is stupid. So I could play on our journey to Great Britain. Just under a year ago, with all my past memories lost to me, I was left behind in Hong Kong. Everything was foreign to me, the signs, the sounds, the smell. My head reeled. I was truly at a loss. I realize now that I have escaped as a dead man, with nothing but the clothes on my back. No money, of course. How terrifying for you. If you have just not left the ship. Luckily too, I have 2 feathers in my cap. One being your knowledge of English, I suppose. That's right. On the back of that, I was able to pick up some work as a deckhand on a cargo ship. Eventually, after calling at countless ports, I finally arrived at Dover. There must have been some 3 months ago now. Your formidable tenacity of purpose showing itself again. I mean, the man have lost his memory and have literally nothing to his name. He still managed to make his way to London on the opposite side of the world. Of course, I have no idea why I moved heaven and earth to get here at that point. So, how did you end up becoming Lord Van Ziek's apprentice then? That can only be called an extraordinary stroke of luck, really. You see, I was stopped at the border because I have no papers. They took me straight to Scotland Yard. And by sheer coincidence, Lord Strongheart was there to attend a meeting. That was when the second feather in my cap came into play. Would that have been your knowledge of the law? Yes, exactly. Lord Strongheart was curious about an Easterner with intimate knowledge of British law. He took me back with him to the Supreme Court and assigned me to the prosecutor office. And then, 9 days ago, you finally got your memory back after the trial involving Drebber. Yes, I did. Ever since I first met you at Yume, you talk about your dream. Mark my words, Ryunosuke. I will be chosen as a visiting student and make my way to Great Britain someday. Did you know the entire time about what happened to your father here? 16 years ago, when you're 8 years old, when my father left on that exciting trip to Great Britain, I was just a boy. We took a photograph together the day before his departure. It's my last memory of him. But what I remember most about my father is his unswerving sense of justice. 6 years after he left, a gentleman called at our family home. He told me that Genshin, my father, had been taken ill in England and passed away. He was Professor Mikotoba, your father, Susato-san. Oh my. Ever since then, the professor was very good to me. He even helped to fund my university education at UMA. I'll be forever in his debt. But nevertheless, I just couldn't bring myself to believe what he told me. Oh. Then, one day, a letter arrived at our house from Britain. There was no indication of the sender, so I opened it, assuming it was from another acquaintance of my father. While reading that letter, changed my life. What did it say? It says that my father had been a mass murderer, and the writer cursed the Asogi name. Oh, Lord Van Zix. As a result of that letter, I found out what had been hiding from me all those years. Presumably the letter was sent from a relative of one of the victims. If, however, it have been a member of the judiciary, he could have been present at the close of the trial. The letter revealed that my father had been sentenced to death, executed for being a killer. I'm sorry you have to find out that way. I managed the British government did its very best to silence whoever sent that letter. But someone who knew the truth and couldn't bear the resentment was always going to be a problem. Still, it couldn't have been written by anyone. Why would you believe such a thing? There was a newspaper cutting included with the letter. It was the first time I ever heard of the professor and his terrible killing spree. But what did my father have to say about the letter? I couldn't bring myself to show it to him. Nope, no, never show to anyone. Still have it with me, never show to anyone. Because he deliberately concealed the truth from me by telling me my father was taken by a fatal illness. That couldn't have been easy for him, and he have done it out of consideration for my feelings. So instead, I showed the letter to Judge Jugoku, to the other visiting student. He faltered for the briefest of moment, but then he just left the letter off. In that moment, I saw on his face. He was undeniably shocked, shaken momentarily, before recovering his pose. Okay, so they are somehow connected to the fucking case, more than just they were friends with Genshin. That is a connection. It has to be Mikotoba. The judge wouldn't... Maybe they just don't know about the Reaper. They know about the rest. Maybe the judge didn't know that Jessie was the Reaper. Assuming Van Zix is correct and she's the Reaper, which, in a way, I guess, in another, that's a very, very basic way of showing who the character that we have been searching for quite a while is. A year later, my bereaved mother succumbed to the strain of grief, and she too passed away. That's when I made up my mind that one day, without fail, I would cross the seas to Britain and seek the truth for myself. The truth about my father, Genshin Asogi. And I wouldn't let anyone stay in my way. Oh, Kazuma-sama. Oops. Is there an option to just... God fucking damn it, just a misclick. And it's so long. Okay. What we learned today in the court turned things completely on their heads. It was an impressive piece of lawyering, Yunosuke Naruhodo. Don't call me my full name. Lord Van Zix isn't the Reaper, you know. I almost don't want to believe it myself, but turns out that Inspector Gregson himself, the victim, was... It's clear that the Inspector was behind the Reaper's activity all along. What? You mean you knew? The real question is, who's been giving orders to the Inspector? Strongheart. Yes, Baron Van Zix is the real Reaper. Okay, so the way the game is going, I do think we are not gonna question it anymore. And we are just going to go with, yeah, Gregson was part of the Reaper. And we are not gonna come back to it and question it, because no one is questioning it. Yes, Baron Van Zix is the real Reaper. And I know that 10 years ago, it was him who decided my father must be a mass murderer and sent him to his grave. He was like 15, 16. 23, he was just young, come on. No, he was merely seeing that justice was done as law dictates. He's not to blame. Ultimately, it's the people who condemn, it's people who condemn people. The law just is true, they used to do it. And when a man condemns another, he must take responsibility for his actions. Of course he must. But I know for certain that my father would never have taken another man's life. Kazuma. On the contrary, my father's life was taken by the Reaper. Yeah, Strongheart. Okay. Can I show you this? Kazuma, this is your armband. Actually, I think it's yours now. Sorry. You're the defense lawyer. You have the talent for it. Now I have always known you would. And now, you have chosen to take that path in life. As your friend, I couldn't be happier for you, or more proud. Kazuma. So you keep hold of that. Besides, I'm a prosecutor now. That armband would have no meaning for me. Well, if you're so sure. Thank you, my boyfriend. Anything I want to think more about? Not really. And the conversation... shall we ask everything? Okay, no, we need to ask something else. Do I have to get some new evidence first? Let me check this. What the? Scale model of the crime scene. Yes, I realized that. Does the prosecution office make models of the scenes for every single case? Apparently so. Sometimes it helps to visualize things better and notice things you haven't spotted before. Actually, the miniature notice board is my work. Be honest, you enjoy making that. It doesn't look bad. Sorry. Let's go. No, no, no. Don't think so. Maybe he's back to the hospital now? Something did happen. This is the ward where Mrs. Virgin was brought, apparently. To be frank, I'm a little worried about seeing him again. Ah, the lawyer. Hello again. Are you feeling better now, Mr. Virgin? Yes, thank you. Somewhat better. I'm sorry to have caused you to... I mean, it was because of me. If I haven't exposed your secret and forced you to remember everything you obviously tried to forget... The prosecutor was here until a few moments ago too. You just missed him. Ah, Kazuma beat up to it. He said much the same as you. He was very apologetic. Because the truth is, I brought all this upon myself. Okay. Please, don't think like that. Keeping it from Evie, my wife, all these years, I have carried such a sense of guilt. But that's not the worst of it. Over time, I obviously came to deceive myself as well. You mean about your dismissal? Looking back now, I'm beginning to think that perhaps Inspector Gregson didn't stumble across me by accident at all. I mean, he compensated me so generously for acting as his stand-by. He was clearly concerned for my well-being and doing what he could to help. So perhaps Gregson knew exactly what kind of person I have become? Sorry. Oh my god. Ooh, my head is just floating there. Perhaps Gregson knew exactly what have become of Mr. Vigil now alone. I'm sure this is just dessert for the 10 years of lie and deception, but how is my head? This is my last water. How is my head already going astray so early? It wasn't me that helped the professor escape 10 years ago. It wasn't me. I swear it. I swear it's true. Let me... This goes here, this goes here. Careful to not spill water on myself. I swear it's true. Oh, Miss Vision. I'm sure you'd rather not read up even more from your past at this time, but if possible, could you tell us exactly what really happened? I need to get out of this off my chest. I just want someone to tell me what I should have done. Okay. Inspector Gregson was obviously engaged in special operations of some sort. He was investigating something that even Scotland Yard couldn't know about. The tale of the Reaper Mark. I do think that this can also be interpreted as his inspector, the Reaper itself is trying to find out Strongheart, and he was eliminated for getting too close. I want to believe in Gregson, come on. Details of the Reaper Mark, yes. It was when he had to carry out those investigations, then I would take his identification and impersonate him. You pretend to be the inspector and carry out investigations on his behalf? Why are we asking what we know already? No, never. A common street peddler couldn't possibly carry out proper police investigation. All I would do is go to a specific location and make a little hoo-ha. Just something to leave an impression, so everyone there would think a detective called Gregson was here. So... that's what you were doing on the day prior to the incident? Yes, he asked me to make an appearance on the park on Lime Street for the Red-Headed League event. So, as usual, I flashed the inspector identification around, and was very vocal about my presence. But then you were taken prisoner by those red-headed fraudsters. Yes. So you would always make a point of showing Gregson identification and generally being loud. That's what the inspector asked me to do, yes. And that's one way of becoming a legendary detective, I suppose. Not a good one, though. And as you know, I suffered this bruising around my neck. Is this the same red ring that was on Clint Van Zick's hand? payment for helping him escape? No, he is... Wait, no. He is married. Is this just his ring? His wedding ring? And that's the same why Genshin have that ring? Yeah, it's his left... yeah, it is. Okay. But the following day they kept their word and released me. Without returning to the inspector identification to you, however. We have arranged to meet in Fresno Street at 5 that day, so I could report back to the inspector. But at the agreed time, that's when I heard a gunshot. It was at midnight on 17th of June, 10 years ago. That was the time scheduled for the execution. But the professor execution never actually took place. Or rather, the execution itself must have been used as to effect the plan of escape. I hardly dare to imagine what a killing plan it was. Berkeley was renowned for being the highest security prison in the country. Everything that went in and out of the place was searched with multiple times. But there was one notable exception. Or rather, one notable loophole, something that was never questioned. I have a feeling I know what the loophole was. The coffins into which the bodies of the executed convicts were placed, correct? Yes. Once the coroner had confirmed the death of a condemned convict, the body was taken in its coffin for immediate burial in Lowe's Gate Cemetery, just behind the prison. The chief warder had first signed the necessary... sorry. The chief warder first have to sign the necessary papers. And after that, no member of the staff was permitted to touch the coffins containing the body again. When the execution took place, only the executioner and the coroner were permitted inside the chamber. I would wait in the adjacent room for the condemned I would wait in the adjacent room for word that the condemned convict was dead. On that occasion, once I have that confirmation, I went to the mortuary to find a lone coffin, as usual. The procedure was that I would sign the paperwork having checked the coffin, then nail it shut. But for some reason that day, the coffin was already nailed shut. No. I didn't think much of it at the time. I assumed that my deputy must have checked the coffin and nailed it shut before I arrived. So, you mean the coffin contained... Yes, I can only imagine that Asogi, having escaped his execution somehow, was alive inside the coffin. Okay, this makes a lot more sense now. The coffin was then taken out through the main gate and deposited in the Long Gate Cemetery. You are just bad at your job, okay. Presumably there would have been enough air inside to breathe for long. So in the early hours following the burial, someone dug up the coffin again to set Genshin free. But in the end, he was fatally shot in the graveyard anyway. What on earth really happened in Longgate Cemetery that night, I wonder? I'm afraid I don't know. All I can say with certainty are two things. Asogi, okay. The coroner is Dr. Sid, who is working for Strongheart. So Strongheart wanted to falsify his death for some reason. Why? What benefits there is to falsify his death? But then a second person who knew the plan somehow went there to shoot him? Did Strongheart falsify the death because he himself wanted to be the one who killed him? No, he's not a psychopath like that. He was falsely accused, of course, and we know that the person who found the vital evidence that was used to accuse him was Gregson, which, assuming the game is not wrong, is working for Strongheart and would suggest how that evidence was put there in purpose to get the trial the way that Stronghearted wanted. But why falsify his death and then shoot him? I have to believe that the party who was faking his death and the party that shoot him were two different parties. But the one who would want him dead, assuming he was a good guy, would be Strongheart. And since the people who did the shit was policemen, I have to assume that the people manipulating the execution have to be on Strongheart's side. I don't know. There is something I'm missing. If Gregson is innocent, did he found the clue, the evidence, because the evidence was falsely implanted in somewhere for him to find? But on the back of his mind, he knew there was something off, and that's why he started investigating and was silent until now. But how would that fit with the execution? Just he is not related to it? He knows Asogi was innocent, so he got someone inside the prison to help Asogi escape. But Strongheart somehow learned of it and was there to shoot him. Or maybe just sent Assassin to shoot him to make sure the deal was sealed. Asogi couldn't possibly have escaped that way without help from someone working in the prison, yes. And that somebody was not me. Obviously you knew the man then. The professor, I mean, Genshin Asogi. Yes, I remember him well, in fact. Would you mind telling us what you know? Oh, having been condemned to death as he was, any contact I have with the man was short, obviously. But after the trial, which was carried out behind closed doors, attempted only by elite members of the judiciary, they called for his execution to be carried out at the earliest possible opportunity. The outcome of the trial was set from the beginning, wasn't it? It was time of delicate diplomacy when Britain and Japan were in the process of signing an important treaty. That meant that this potentially destabilizing case have to be dealt with swiftly and discreetly. Also, okay, now that we are talking about people killing and the politics, let's talk about Jesai Brett a little bit. I did have the assumption that the reporter who killed her was sent by Strongheart to silence her because they caught her. So he didn't want a possibility of her opening her mouth. But now I'm not 100% sure anymore. The men have less than a week in total. As I was the chief warder, I oversee his short stay in the cells until his final hour. I remember being struck deeply by his noble character and incredible resilience. What do you mean exactly? He was a killer of many men, but he was always quiet and polite. He was a gentleman and a man of intellect. In fact, I couldn't bring myself to believe what he had done, so I asked him one day. Is he still marked here because they didn't want to make a second model? Those 5 members of the aristocracy whose lives were taken, were you really responsible? I'm guilty of the unforgivable crime of ending another human's life, yes. Okay, you are about to be sent to the gallows, my dude. You don't need to be fucking vague posting. You don't need to be like, in a way, we are all murderers, aren't we? Well, you can just say fucking no. You are just gonna be, oh, the man that died was Barak's brother, because I have the chance to save him, but I fail. So in a way, yes, I am a murderer because I couldn't protect the good man. Shut the fuck up. Just say fucking no. Holy shit. The following day, the closet trial took place, and the verdict was no surprise. Guilty. That night, when he was brought back to his cell, I saw something unusual. Something unusual, what? The last will and testament of Genshin Asugi. As I said, it was on the night following his trial, after having been found guilty. I was doing the rounds of the cells, and when I looked into Asugi's, I noticed that he seems to have a sheet of paper in his hand. Ah, his last will and testament then, I presumably. As soon as he noticed me, he hurriedly shoved it behind his back. But why did you find it that so unusual? Isn't it normal for a man to pen a will when he knows his death in his night? Yes, that is true, but there was something special to Asugi's incarceration, you see. What sort of condition? Well, even though he was held in a cell designed for condemned inmates, he was allowed to keep his personal effects with him, with one exception. Really? He was allowed his things, that is unusual. Of course, he's been convicted of killing 5 members of the aristocracy, but at the same time he was a guest in our country from the Empire of Japan. The powers that be were determined that his final day shouldn't be needless uncomfortable. And what was the exception you mentioned to the personal effect he was allowed? His katana? That's the point. He wasn't permitted to have writing materials. Specifically, no pen or paper. So, he was prevented from leaving any written records of what have happened to him because he knew the truth. Yes, that was the long and short of it. I have no idea where he obtained that paper. Any writing material would have been confiscated from him upon his incarceration. As I said, he hid the paper behind his back, then he pleaded with me. Why did you just hide behind your back? Please turn a blind eye. This is my lifeline. But you know it's against the rules. You're the only person who has seen it, if you just agree to keep quiet. Alright, what's on the paper? The last will and testament. This will is the only weapon I have left now. How can a will be a weapon? So I decide to pretend I have seen nothing, and I let him keep his will. Wouldn't it better to give it to you? But then later, it just seemed to vanish without trace. What? What do you mean vanished? It would seem that isn't the end of this. Sorry, it would seem that isn't the end of the story of this mysterious will. God damn! Some sentence in this game just stripped me for some fucking reason. I don't know why. I was the only person who saw Asugi's will, but somehow it disappeared. It was after Asugi's execution, which was actually an elaborate jailbreak. The warder gathered up Asugi's possessions that were in his cell. They were all to be sent back to his family home in Japan, you see? To poor Kazuma-sama. And you're saying that it wasn't anywhere to be found among his personal effects? The will, I mean. That's right, though I didn't search through them myself. Thorough. But Governor Kaden was livid. He was screaming, "It cannot have disappeared completely." That doesn't quite make sense though. How did he know? In what way? Well, we understand that only Mr. Vision was aware of the will's existence. In which case, how did the prison governor know to look for it? Oh, you're right. I don't know how he knew. It certainly seemed as though he knew of the will's existence from the outset. Only he didn't refer to it as a will. What he said was... the Asugi Papers. The Asugi Papers. I really can't tell you anything of the subsequent events. because, well, of what happened. Your dismissal and the way you blocked it off from your memory. I have forgotten all this until now. I don't suppose it's relevant to the case, though. Anyway, thank you very much for sharing it with us, Miss Vision. We are very grateful. Okay, prison! I'm afraid there's little more I can tell you. My wife Evie will be here shortly, so I do hope I don't appear rude, but... No, not at all. Thank you again. What will become of you now? Well, impersonating a police officer is a criminal offense, of course. I imagine that once I'm fully recovered, I shall be arrested. I'm sorry. Don't be, please. This was all my own doing. I always knew that this day would come. Well, I wish you well. Goodbye, Mr. Vision. Ah. Before you go, there is just one thing! Yes, what is it? The Asogi papers. I'll be very grateful if you make no mention of those things I told you about them. Oh, make no mention of the things I told you about them. Presumably for some good reason? It's my understanding that their very existence is a closet, guarded secret. If you become know that I have remembered, well, it could be rather troublesome, I think. Yep, you're gonna be assassinated by assassin. Some sort of will that Geishin Asogi penned just before his death, which the man himself called it his last weapon. I wonder, I have something to do with his plan to escape? No, it's to do with the death of fucking Kirk. If there's anyone who might know more about the document that Kazuma's father left behind, it would be Mr. Vision Governor. Then we know precisely where we must go. I thought his last message was don't talk to them about it. I mean, I'm going to, but, you know, dude's gonna fucking die. What's up? Ouch, back again, are you? Yes, hello. I've heard about your investigation. I read the papers just now. You have found him, Vision. Yes, luckily. Well, anywho, the laddie doesn't work here no more, so your case is not to do with Barkley. I would like you to get... I wouldn't like you to get the wrong idea about that. Of course, yes. Mr. Virgin stopped working here 10 years ago now, so... Yes, we have seen his dismissal notice, haven't we? He was given the chop. Oh yeah, Kimmer. You can very well. So, how about a wee handcuff biscuit? Oh, they really are like little handcuffs. And as hard as iron too. So, what? Oh, I could really go for some small hard biscuits right now. Holy shit, I really could go for some. So, what brought you to here today? Well, there is something else I'd like to ask you about, actually. Is that so? We believe there might have been a document that appeared from Genshin Asogi's cell. I think it's called the Asogi Papers or something? I see. Let me bring my gun, so I can shoot you. Did I know say Gregson's death is nothing to do with things that might have happened at Barkley? Leave the past in the past, laddie. Let's not footer about with irrelevant details. His expression changed completely. We are clearly onto something here. That murder botched the execution and the whole miserable escape. They were Barkley's darkest hours, yeah, a shocking embarrassment. Because the convicts have a collaborator on the prison staff, you mean? Aye, for shame. The coroner who confirmed the death of the man after his execution, Courtney Seat. And my chief warder at the time, Vision, who was in charge of the whole affair. Mr. Vision said he doesn't know anything about it. The rascal wouldn't say otherwise, huh? More handcuffs? How could I say no? You can never have too much iron in your diet. And Mr. Vision was handed his dismissal notice as a result of what has happened. He was so desperate he jumped out of the window of... Sorry, he jumped out of your office window, didn't he? I don't like to say, but that's just Vision trying to get out of it. Do you not think he wouldn't have jumped from the shock of his crime? Me expose it? I do. You wouldn't say otherwise though, would you? Of course, I cannot shun our responsibility myself. I shouldn't have let him deceive me. Actually, there is barely anybody that knows what went on that at the time now. With Gregson have been murdered and Dr. Sid forbidden from having any visitors. Ooh! No visitors. Someone obviously don't want her giving anything away. Well, we are not gonna going home empty-handed. And I wouldn't dream of sending you packing without Kimmer. Here, take a handcuff or two. This. Oh god, it's hard to understand his sentence. Oh, well, it would be rude to say no. Wouldn't want to be anemic. Wouldn't want to become anemic. Suppose if there is anybody who might still knew about what happened back then, it would have been the last from the forensic division. Maria Gorey. Maria Gorey. Ah yeah, Sid's daughter. She didn't have no more, just the one. But the wee barn following her mom's footstep. You didn't ever see her without a scalpel in her hand. And also she also is falsifying coroner reports and hiding the fucking time of death. Yep. Mama, what is this? Why did she... Okay, we don't need the flashback, as always. Dr. Sid's daughter, Maria Gorey. We could do with talking to her. This investigation is going much further than I expected, considering that we still have a big courtroom tomorrow. So, she's Dr. Sid's daughter, but her surname is Gorey. Ah, there is some family history, I'm sure, but I don't know the ins and outs of it. She grew up watching her mom working with the bodies of folks who die in strange circumstances, and decided to do the same with her own life. I cannot understand it myself. Perhaps she was driven by a deep respect for her mother? Perhaps. Anyhow, she was in charge of Gregson's autopsy, I believe. Right, the coroner responsible for his incomplete report. Someone told me once that the wee lass always loved her mom's stories about cutting up bodies. There is even a rumor that she used to listen to the funeral march as a lullaby. And perhaps her mother might have told her about the autopsy from the case 10 years ago. I said there is a fighting chance at least. After all, that was a life-changing case for all of us. We need to speak to Mr. Gorey herself about this, I think. Oh, thank you very much. Now about those papers. I'm not happy about any part of this. It took years for Londoners to finally forget the whole professor business. Can you not give up on this, lad? Stop asking pointless questions. I'm sorry, I don't like dreading up these painful memories for everyone. Can you just stay away now? Leave me alone and don't come back here? How did you come to know about that, laddie? There is not many folks here, even in prison, who have heard of those papers. Well, I cannot tell him Mr. Virgin told me. I'm afraid our source must remain confidential, sir. Huh. We've been led to believe those papers are actually a last will and testament. Is that right? The professor, or rather, Genshin Asugi. Ah, that's right. You're well informed, Jimmy. Oh, is that the end of his silent treatment? But then after the convict execution, it mysteriously vanished from his cell, didn't it? Heavens no, you're off the half-cooked there. I think you didn't quite get your facts straight. It was there in the cell, exactly where it should have been. not where we are elsewhere. Let me just have a wee hoo around here. I'm sure I can find it. Ah, here you go. See? The last will statement of Genshin Asugi, written with a calligraphy brush. Of course, I cannot read a word of those Japanese squiggles, but I mind it says he leaves all his worldly possessions to his son back in his homeland. Yes, that is correct. That's the gist of it. So these are the Asugi papers. Oh yeah, of course they are. Papers written by Asugi. No doubt about it. There is no mystery here, lad. That's you. Goodbye. Don't forget to close the door on the way out. After all, the stranger of slashers of... after all this strumish or the slater of an execution... fuck, I don't even know where to begin with this sentence, okay? After all the circles of an execution, we sent the man's possession back to his clan in Japan, and that was the end of it. I think we ought to make a record of this, Mr. Naruhodo, just in case. One thing before you go your way, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes. Those papers are now with Gregson's... are nothing to do with Gregson's death. That's for us to know. I, Genshin, hereby request upon my death any all material belongs and wealth belonging to me in London to be left to my son, Kazuma Asugi, in the Empire of Japan. It is with deep sadness that I accept my fate in this foreign land, in the knowledge that I will never see my homeland or family again, but I regret nothing about my chosen path. Okay? So these are in the incorrect ones. These are fake ones. Those papers are nothing to do with Gregson's death. I prefer if you didn't make no mention of them outside this officer, or rather, I wouldn't just prefer. Consider an order from the highest level of our government. I understand. Okay. Let's start by showing these papers to everyone. Hey, have you seen this? Really? He doesn't have something to talk about the papers. Really? Okay. Now, let me present it. Come on! Okay. No, nobody here. No. Go back. Yo! Have you seen these papers? What is that? Ah, something I was hoping to ask your opinion about. Oh, okay. No, we cannot. Yet. Yo, Mikotoba! My boy! Oh, you're not here anymore. Okay, sorry. Yo, Strongheart! Ah. Okay, what were we actually doing? Let me go back to... Governor. Okay. Okay, so there's something else to do with on the office. But we cannot talk to him about anything. Which means we either need to examine something, which I don't think it's the case. There is some new stuff to examine, but I don't think it's relevant. So we most likely have to present him something. And I genuinely do not know what it is, so let me just present everything. I was shocked when I found out you were related to the case, the red-headed Ligami. Personally, it wasn't their plan to swindle. It wasn't their plan to swindle everyone that surprised me. It was the fact that so many red-headed people gathered from all over London on that day. I expect those two are in the cell as we speak, wishing they will never dream up their little plan. Or they are busy planning the next one. Okay. I just wanna honestly see random conversations we can get. Like, there is no way any of this would be relevant to him. But let me see if we can get something. Oh, that one was different. The Reaper. At least I get to take my revenge. Kazuma. Lord Von Zieks is responsible for your father's death, and he's not the Reaper. He's a defendant and deserves a fair trial. You mean like the one my father have? It's a close trial now too. The conditions are exactly as they were 10 years ago. Even if it ruffles some feathers, I have no plan to show that man for what... I have a plan to show that man for what he really is. Kazuma! Okay. Come on, look at this photo. Okay. Let's just fast forward to the last few things. I'm surprised that this photo isn't something. But most of all, I'm surprised that this is not. What do I need to... Okay, okay, I don't think there's going to be anything here, but there is the what to do. Alright, it's rather unusual to find ourselves here in the middle of our investigations. It just occurred to me that I might have forgotten something when we left this morning. Don't worry, as long as we continue investigating, you won't go far wrong. Let's go back to work. Okay, so no hint. Have I talked to you about everything? Yes. Yo, wanna see some papers? No.
Objection!
His objection is weak. Didn't she hide the violin? Okay, don't need that. And I don't think anything here is going to be relevant. I actually don't know what I have to do right now. It's not the prosecution officer, there is nothing here. There's nothing on the hotel. I cannot even examine it. Is there something I can examine in his... the cabinet? That's 50 years worth of records. Do not touch it. Recorded in here like an epitaph. Records of crimes and punishments. And yet, this man seems to be enjoying tea and biscuits as he's talking about it. I don't think there's going to be anything relevant here. Is there anything I can present to him? Only the papers, honestly. But no, it came from him. Did this miss notice? No. I'm assuming it's nothing to do with him, but I'm just checking to make sure. We also need to re-investigate the crime scene. Oh yeah, the autopsy report. We need to talk to Gori. Where is she? No. I have nothing to talk to you about, and I don't think there's anything I need to present to you. Yes. Let's we haven't re-examined this crime scene, and there could be something new. Nothing. The candelabra has a new mark. Using a time device. If you only didn't pick the gun, something you probably told yourself. I can re-examine everything, but I generally don't think it's going to give anything aside from just extra dialogue. Let me check this. Razor of Lord Van Ziek's defeats in court. I don't think that's the appropriate description. Although, when you consider everything on the board, it is true that all these people have background of dubious dealings, and in the end of the course, the board itself considered the Spectre owns death. Oh, it really doesn't bear thinking about it. Okay, I don't think there's anything here. If I go to the right, is there a new person here? No. I don't think there's anything else to do with you. And we are at the end. Okay, I know it's here because I'm sure you asked everything we need to, Mr. Naruhodo. I feel strange connection knowing father study. This place is with us, there's chill. In some ways, this place is rather suit Lord Vans. Oh dear. Decorations in here, the government face are terrifying. With a growing place, father suddenly seems to enjoy. I feel nervous. I should ask if I could borrow some books. Living rooms are full of name of mysteries. Okay, yeah. Let me start by examining the... Maybe this? Do you know who the main portrait is? Why would I? What, but you're Lord Van Ziek's apprentice? Yeah, as apprentice, not friend. And during the time I was suffering from amnesia, I didn't even notice that picture. Oh, really? I mean, it's not the smallest picture. I wouldn't have the first idea what the man decorated his office with. I thought it was going to be something that would bring the conversation about... Oh, let's just examine everything here. You discovered the best, did you? Fitting companions of Lord Van Ziek's, wouldn't you say? Actually, I have seen things flying Lord Strongheart offices too. Doves, I think. Perhaps you have to like birds to attain rank in the judiciary here? Although bats aren't a bird, of course. How about a sparrow for you? What is that supposed to mean? Oh, nothing, sorry, just think out loud. Cast floor to ceiling, just like the last time we were here. Hollow barrels, I suppose. They arrange it according to vintage, flavor, and region. Every week, they are all taken out and put back in order. Well, every week! Lord Van Ziek can seem to settle on the perfect way to arrange them, you see. Vintage, flavor, region, that is neatly concealed. That's the trouble. Gosh, his apprentice must be a real challenge. Actually, no. He considers the task too important to entrust it to anybody else, so he does it entirely on his own. So he's a barrel of laughs here and in court then. Okay, the books have nothing. We have examined this, which I thought it could do something as well as this. So now all it's left is the desk. That's Lord Van Ziek's incredible stylish desk. Not my style though. No, I noticed you've been working at the little table on the floor, kneeling Dogeza Caesar style. I thought it was some kind of punishment set out by Lord Van Ziek when I first saw it. I found it the most comfortable way to work. I cannot do it. After a couple of minutes sitting with my legs folded under me, they start to go tingly. Don't exaggerate, Ryunosuke. We both know you can't even manage a minute. And we have already checked this, but I didn't read it, but it's not important. What have we not presented to him? I guess this line, even though I really doubt anything here will do anything. No. Oh! Oh yeah! About the death, the time of death. Okay. This came up in the trial, didn't it? Something a little dubious, I mean. The fact that no time of death was recorded on Inspector Gregg's autopsy report. Yes, there was some unexpected turns in the courtroom earlier. The suggestion you came up with certainly took everyone by surprise. The idea that the victim died in the previous day at some other location is quite something. Well, considering when the pocket watch have stopped and the scorch mark on the candle, it's certainly a distinct possibility. The evidence and the scene both point to it. To be honest, it bothered me too. I paid a visit to the autopsy room earlier. The coroner responsible wasn't there, but I got a name, Dr. Gory. If you don't trouble you, Kazuma-sama, we'd very much like to speak with the coroner too. Of course, the last thing I want is for anything to be brushed under the carpet. Scotland Yard Autopsy Laboratory is behind Longgate Cemetery. Longgate... Oh, by Barclay Prison, you mean? Ah, you know it, do you? The prison my father was incarcerated and robbed of his life. Kazuma-sama. Well, thank you. We'll pay a visit to the laboratory later today. And by that we mean right now. Yonosuke, I wanted to thank you. What for? For this. You safeguarded the soul of the Asogi clan. Well, it is a famous sword and have been in your family for generations. My only slight regret is that I never got a chance to draw it before returning it to you. Karuma is said to have been forged by a master swordsmith during the Sengoku Warring States period. Comes from a long lineage of warriors, many whom were expert swordsmen. Well then, you're a chip off of the old books, I said. This blade, Karuma, is the symbol of the Asogi clan honor and might. Apparently, one of my father's apprentices even took the blade name for a surname. Really, Karuma, it does sound formidable, that's for sure. Is that supposed to be a reference to someone in the other Ace Attorneys? I can't remember the name Karuma, but I played those games like decades ago. 16 years ago, when my father was a visiting student here in London, I have this sword forever at his side. Which is why it meant so much to me that I have it by my side again now. And that is all thanks to you. It was an honor. Now, I have preparations to make for tomorrow. Perhaps I said a little too much. Kazuma, you have changed. No, Ryunosuke, I haven't changed at all. It's you who changed. I can completely understand your resentment of Lord Van Zix given what happened. But the fact is, those events in this case are, well, unrelated. Really? At this point? Are you gonna say that really, Naruhodo? What do you mean? Never mind. You're stupider than I thought. That man is the Reaper, and it's for that reason that the inspector was killed. I'm gonna prove as much in the court tomorrow, by whatever means necessary. I cannot do that, Kazuma. I know you will do what you have to. You will do what you have to do as a lawyer. Sorry, I know you will do what you have to as a lawyer. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that I won't be taking any prisoners in the courtroom. I would expect nothing less. Until tomorrow in the Old Bailey, my old friend. Okay, now we can go there. November Forensic Laboratory. This... Oh, she completely changed the decoration. This place really is creepy, isn't it? At least I don't remember it being so pink. Well, being a dead room, it's probably full of the spirits of the deceased. Actually, there is a rather pleasing scent of roses in the air. Well, being a dead room, the coroner probably needs a bold scent like that to mask the odor of death. Aris, do you think we could change the subject? What was that? Bird! More birds! Dr. Gory? What? The noise before... I was sharpening my... Don't sharpen like that. That just destroyed the edge. Don't do that. I was sharpening my tools. I'll be a dead man if I didn't keep a perfect keen edge on them. I mean... Right. I'm following the collagen fibers in the dermis, an experimentally sharpened scalpel. Cuts like cheese. Would you like a demonstration? Oh, yes please, I'd love to. Then, I think you would do nicely. No, I wouldn't do nicely at all. I mean, maybe some other time. Was that it? Well, we came here to ask questions, so... Oh, she does not stop doing that. Birds! That look like an owl and a crow up there. I know, they haven't even twitched since we came in here. Oh no, they wouldn't have. They are taxidermy mounts, Mr. Naruhodo. I was afraid you were gonna say that. I mean, try very hard to tell myself. They are just sleeping with their eyes open. Yes, I think perhaps you were wise to put something like your Daruma doll on display in the office instead. Okay, let's not delay. We are here. We have actually met before. I'm a lawyer, if you remember. You're not dead yet. What? So Mama said I wasn't to cut you open. She's so strict about things like that. Well, good. Dr. Sid has some scruples at least. Oh dear. It looks like she's not interested in talking to us for the time being anyway. For the time being, I mean, until we die, I hope that's a way off. Sorry, but I wasn't planning on dying anytime soon. Surely there is some less dramatic way of making her listen. Okay, let's present her with these hot dogs. Dr. Gory, we actually came here to ask about this. He was very good. Good? Sorry? His skin didn't snag my blade once. And very little mess. His joint is located easily, and his muscle tissues was a pleasure to work with. We can skip those details. But there is one thing about the report that caught my attention. You don't seem to have recorded a time of death. That's not my fault. Okay. That made me jump. And please, tell us what happened. So, why doesn't the autopsy report include the victim time of death then? Really the most crucial detail. I was told not to write it. By who? Mao Strongheart, the Lord Chief Justice. He came here. Lord Strongheart came. He said that from the witness statement about the gunshot and the other evidence, it was obvious. The man clearly died at 5 PM on November 1st, when the gunshot was heard. But that is not the time of death you wrote on the report. You didn't write anything. Was there some reason you didn't include it? Dr. Gory, if you hide something under Lord Strongheart's instructions, then sooner or later you are going to go the same way as your mother. Give it here then. Huh? Or is she scrapping furiously? There. You have written... What's she written? Tell us. Indeterminated. An accurate estimate of the time of that is not possible. Indeterminate. What do you mean? Why was the time of death indeterminate? When the specimen was brought in, it was still fresh. So the time of death could easily have... Oh, there was some heavy leg there. So the time of death could easily have been concealed with when the gunshot was heard. But there was one small discrepancy. What discrepancy? There was some fried fish in the pocket of the specimen overcoat. and that fish have started to rot. What? If the victim liked the fried fish, he presumably liked to eat it before it went off. Well, yes, what are you trying to say? It's possible someone tried to manipulate the apparent time of death. Is that even possible? Theoretically, if you were to chew the body in ice, you could delay the onset of putrefaction, and if the overcoat wasn't on the body at the time, then only the fish would have started to rot. With today's science, it's not yet possible to determine if the body was chilled or not. But today's science advanced enough to let you freeze a corpse, it seems. But surely, to chill a corpse like that would require an enormous electrical refrigerator? I don't imagine many households in London are equipped with such a device. No, definitely not. Maybe in a factory? Some other special place? I don't recall seeing any factory such like on Fresno Street, though. I wonder if the inspector body have been chilled somehow. What might the actual time of death have been? I couldn't say for sure, but at the most, it might have been a day earlier. No. In other words, it would corroborate with our previous deductions, Mr. Naruhodo. That Inspector Gregson was killed a day before his body was discovered, at a different location. Did you inform Lord Strongheart of this possibility? He simply said there were no electrical refrigerators of that type in the vicinity. Oh, yes, one other thing. It's something the governor of Barclay Prison told us. He said your mother, Dr. Sitch, was responsible for confirming the death of the professor after his execution. The professor? Apparently, you always enjoyed listening to your mother's stories about her work, so... We were wondering if you might know something about what happened 10 years ago. That's not all Mama did. Sorry? My Mama carried out the autopsy of Clint Van Zyck as well. Okay! Free information, thank you. Well, really? The brother of Lord Van Zyck, the professor's final victim. The idea of carrying out an autopsy on a member of the aristocracy was completely unthinkable back then. But the detective in charge of the investigation insisted, and it was miraculously authorized. Because they need to create something. So Gregson and her worked together. Detective being Inspector Gregson, of course. Quite an accomplishment for one man. That autopsy provided the vital clue needed to arrest the killer. The Mama was there for a historical event. What does all this mean? You know, that amazing autopsy happened right here in this very room. The professor and Clint Van Zyck. They both spent their final moments before the burial on that disinfected table there. Is the papers here? So this lab, Mama Lab, was instrumental in some of the country's most important events. She really is proud of her mother. I wonder if you tell us more about exactly what have happened back then, Dr. Gory. Okay, can I just look at this? Well, when could I said they're so horrible, disturbing. That's Mama dissection table. It's too hard for me though. Oh, it is? If I fell from that high in my sleep, it would really hurt. You mean you sleep here? Autopsy work is very involved. It's usually too late to think about going home when I finish. But I have bad dreams when I sleep here, and I always end up falling onto the floor. So I'd like to exchange that table for a lower one. Maybe you should just go home? I saw something completely innocent like that. Ah, the jar you're looking at there contains monkey brains. Oh. The composition is similar to the human brain, so they make for an interesting study material. In the next jar, we have monkey... No monkey thing, anything, please. You say so. Oh dear. The time when I still thought it was just some pickled umabashi bloomed since so long already. Okay, let's go the skeleton and then the big thing. Look at this, what a magnificent display case. The cherry wood has been polished to a high sheen, and the intricate carving is a joy to behold. The Western cabinet makers really are very skilled, aren't they? 10 people, pardon? It's made from the bone of 10 different people mixed together. Some of my best work. I was admiring the case, actually. The scary skeleton inside is something I tend to ignore as best as I can. Strange. I wonder who is the strangest. Look at the bottles in the shelf in those cabinets. What an assortment of chemicals. These ones here are labeled highly toxic. That's worrying because there are also things that look like salt and pepper shakers in there. Oh, they actually do say salt and pepper on them. That will probably spend a lot of time in this room, I suppose. Perhaps she has news here sometime. Life goes on even when you're surrounded by death. This looks different from before. Of course, Mr. Naruhodo, Mr. Gori is a young maiden. She has all sorts of charming little dolls and the like around her place of work. Look. Yes, alright. Perhaps not so strange after all. There how I practice it. Sorry? Mama always said that operations in these sections require speed and accuracy. So I take out my needle and thread and stitch 3 new dolls every day. Oh, right. I used to make livers or kidneys or intestines. My mama told me to make something more friendly instead. That is quite different from what I imagined. Me too. I like this one. Okay. Back to the plot. The professor on execution was Mama's first big case. You have to be in attendance at the Barclay Prison execution chamber and sign the certification to confirm the convict's death. Mama is the best coroner in the world, you know. I was proud of her. But the execution didn't actually take place. No, and worse still, Mama actually helped with the jailbreak. I didn't want you to know. Oh dear, you found out recently, didn't you mean? I believe in her, in Mama, but now I wonder if I'm starting down the same path as her. You mean because you omit the time of death on this autopsy report? That is because Lord Strongheart forbade you from including it. Just like Mama, I'm sure she was coerced by somebody too. Yes, that is my feeling as well. There is no doubt that there were powerful forces at play 10 years ago. The execution couldn't have been staged without a lot of people at the prison knowing about it. Obviously, the prison governor must have been in on it as well. The big man with the little handcuffs, according to what he told us, he was tricked by the chief warder. He says he knew nothing about it. Of course he said that. I would say the same thing, yeah. Who was behind the jailbreaks all those years ago? You mean you mentioned the autopsy of Clint Van Zix. It was at the time when carrying out autopsy of murder victims was very unusual. Still not a practice that is observed in your country even now. It turned out he was the professor found a victim, and when the autopsy was performed, no one was present, although only as a secondary assistant. The person leading the prosecution was Dr. John H. Wilson, really? Oh shit, Iris is here. That's right, my daddy. And there was another person present, the primary assistant. He was a visiting student from the Far East, Mikotoba! A visiting student. Must have been a father, Eugene Mikotoba. I have no idea Professor Mikotoba have been involved in something so important. But the outcome of the historical autopsy was the discovery of a vital piece of evidence that led to the capture of the professor. So that's how they came to identify Genshi Asuki as the infamous Mesmother. This is your biggest smile. Do you happen to know anything about the piece of evidence? Can you tell us any more? Would you like to see the records yourself? Yes. Would that be alright? What's the point of keeping records if people can't look at them? They are filled under V at the back of those cupboards with the other records from the last decades. Thank you. See, Van Zik. That's strange. What, Mr. Naruhodo? They aren't here. There is nothing under Van Zik's. There must be. Perhaps someone took them away? No, no one is allowed to take documents. Oh, that's the Asogi papers! That's the fucking papers that he got when he was in this room! Motherfucker! Oh, that's good! He didn't have pen, he only have a paper. Oh, that's good! No one is allowed to take documents related to the professor case out of this room. But you're right, they are gone. Well, when was the last time somebody looked at them? Do you remember? It was... Oh, I remember now. It was 2 years ago. Oh! Oh, it was not that. A consulting detective came one day saying he liked to see the records. You don't mean... Fucking Sherlock Holmes. So fucking course it was. Deep down I knew that was coming, yeah. You think he stole the records? Oh, surely not. Aris, that can't be right, can it? Aris? Aris, what happened 2 years ago? How is this investigation still going? Bruno. I hope you don't mind, but... What is it, Aris? I just remember something very important I have to do. I'm gonna leave you now. Oh, that is very sudden, Iris. Well, we come with you then. Oh, no, there is no need. You and Bruno can take your time here. Bye-bye, good luck, bye. Wait a minute, little girl. Evie. I remember now. You have been here before, haven't you? Have you, Iris? Yes, 2 years ago, when a detective came. You were with him, weren't you? You were a living specimen, didn't you? That's the way it usually works, yes. Was I? I don't really remember. Anyway, sorry, I must dash. Bye! Wait, Iris? Bye! What's the matter with her? She's behaving really strange all of a sudden. Well, in that case, we won't keep you any longer either. I mean, quite a while since I have any visitors. This was really fun. Next time you come, I prefer if you are ready for this section. I can't make any promises, sorry. It's a bit strange that the records of Clint Van Zyck's autopsy have disappeared. I think we have asked all we came to ask now. Okay, fucking Holmes. Where the fuck are you, Holmes? Motherfucker's not here. Kazuma, I have news, okay? We're not sharing. Yo, Virgin, any update? No? Okay, you keep being you. Is Shamus here? There is a new thing here. The police are still busily investigating in here then. Virginia is nowhere to be seen. Where is she? Yes, it's been blissful quiet, hasn't it? Perhaps she's out investigating on her own, perhaps thinking what her boss taught her. Oh, I expect she'll be back before long. Shall we wait? Actually... there is something different about this room. We could always use the time to investigate more. Thoroughly. The little truck wasn't here before, was it? It appears to be made of metal. It must be very heavy. I wonder to whom it belongs. There's some dirt. There is some initials on the outside. TG. Tobias Gregson. Let's ask one of the policemen if they know how he came to be here. Oi, what do you think you're doing? That's my truck, that is. Hands off. Gina, what were you hiding? Where were you hiding? Sorry. I don't know. You leave something unattended for a few seconds and every Tom, Dick and Harry got his greedy eyes on it. Just a wild guess, Gina, but... What? Spit it out, Odo. It's fair to say that you only owned that truck since this morning trial? What you trying to say? Come on, this truck goes with me everywhere, always has. Where has it been the last year? Where have you been? Okay, so she inherited his documents. Please let me just spend 5 minutes looking at everything. I'm not in Kirov, mainly. Okay, truck. You should have heard them talking at the yard now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're saying it was the boss who killed all the burglars. You mean the whole Reaper thing? Yeah. Apparently the boss was investigating stuff no one else at the yard knew nothing about. Stuff to do with all the criminals who got scot-free. Yes, the ones prosecuted by Lord Von Dix, who used bribery and corruption to evade the conviction. I really hope the plot twist is that Gregson is innocent. I really do. Well, then obviously it was that blooming Reaper giving the orders, wasn't it? But why would people be suspecting Inspector Gregson of being involved in the killing? There was a notebook hidden in his office. Oh no. It has the details about all the crimes that have been pegged as the Reaper's work. Because he investigating it to find the Stromkite. Did you see, Gina? Did you see the notebook? They wouldn't flaming let me, cause I'm just an apprentice apparently. But it was me who found it, and he was my boss. That's right. I was pretty miffed about it, so I sneak a peek at it, at what it says anyway. That's our Gina. So, you managed to see what was written in Gregson's secret notebook anyway, did you? Oh yeah, I see it. It's my right to read what he wrote. And what has he written, Gina? Dates, time, places, name, and a long list of them. All details about burglars supposed to have been done in by the Reaper. But there could have been explanation for that. Perhaps a record of the inspector investigation into the Reaper activity. Yes! Exactly, that's what I said. That's the first thing you think, right? As it happens, it was full of names I recognize anyway. Well, the Reaper's targets were almost exclusively leaders of London criminal underworld. Well, yeah, but there was one name right at the end that was a bit odd. At the end of the list, you mean? Pretty sure the date against was 31st of October. The day before the inspector was found dead. What was the odd name? It wasn't a name I ever seen before. It was something like, That's no good, I can't remember it. Come on, game! I don't think it was an English name, put it that way. Oh dear, what a pity. Start telling her names! There was something else, I don't know if it matters, but the same name kept coming over and over. Shin, it was. Don't suppose it means anything, but... Yeah, he was investigating it. He's a good guy. Did they say Shin? What? It does mean something? Lord Von Six knew the name Chu. He mentioned her as well. The woman who actually did the deeds. And now we found out her name appear in Gregson's secret notebook. I haven't seen you for a while, have we, Gina? Oh, of course not. I have been busy, haven't I? Investigating on that. The latter they are trying to trace the boss movements the day before it have happened. The day before. That would have been the undercover investigation into the Red-Headed League then. Only the boss didn't go. You found some cove was pretending to be him, didn't you, Odo? Yes, Miss Vingen. We don't need to recap that. Anyway, you ain't the only one turning stuff up. I got my own ways of getting results. When when me and my partner here get together, there is nothing we can't track down. Oh, little Toby, he's such a faithful friend. So, have you tracked anything down then? What do you think? Of course we have. Can't you tell though? Can't tell you though. Police business, isn't it? He's shaking so much. Anyway, the point is, if you lot ever need help, you know who to turn, right? Me and the Hellhound here. Don't use the word Hellhound, because he looks so hellish, honestly. The Hellhound of Baskerville. Gina, about the Hellhound. Chief Inspector Toby, you mean? He's the pride of the force, he is. In Japanese, police dog means something quite different, and not altogether nice to those involved in crime. But here in Britain, it's a wonderful compliment, it seems, for a canine at least. It should be, after all, in the Great Exhibition case the other day, it was Toby here who managed to locate the Rubber Workshop. Maybe it's time for another demonstration of what this super dog can do, huh? Do you have anything the Chief Inspector could cut the scene off, I wonder? No. 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 Maybe. No. 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 Maybe. I kinda wanna give him this just... Sorry. The... letter of introduction.
Take that!
Perhaps, but not accepting very much. Yeah, you need to do the right way. Let's go a little bit one by one. No, no, no. Oh, the gun! We don't know who the owner of the gun is. No. How many times am I gonna have you both squat down to grab him? I'm sorry, Gina.
Take that!
Well, am I having a sniff of this? Oh, the music stopped. He might be a little too keen, don't you think? Oh yeah, we got one. Inspector made short work of Gina there. Woof! Look at what he got into. The truck clearly still has a very strong scent of Inspector Gregson. In other words, must belong to him. Oh, alright, it's a fair cop, I suppose. So let me just adjust myself. And you nearly got away with it too. You always talk so proudly of Chief Inspector Toby knows and what he can achieve. Did it not cross your mind that he might identify something that he was right next to us? Yeah, that's a bit of a bloomer, wouldn't it? That's enough now, then, Gina? I think it's time you told us the truth about that truck. It weren't like that. It just weren't. What are you talking about? I know what's going through the head of yours, but that ain't what happened. Alright, what did happen? Well, like I said, we're trying to trace the boss' movements. So I left Toby here have a whiff of the boss' overcoat. And as soon as I done that, he went off like a shoe. Straight to that sandwich. Not a sandwich, not a bag of chips. It's another hoodoo. I believe Jinami is the witness. Oh, I forgot about that sandwich. Yeah, he have it hidden between the wood boards of it, the boss truck. Really? You mean when they heard the sound like a gunshot and all partying here? Exactly, he stole fucking... Really? Motherfucker! Goodness. When the Chief Inspector gave the sandwich a good grilling, and you know what he said? I thought it might fetch a good price and Chad wouldn't be needing it anymore, so... But that's how I did... Wouldn't you add an even check off it? Stealing the dead's boss stuff to flog? So, Miss Venus wasn't the only one meddling with the scene of the crime then. All three of them were somehow. How could they? So anyway, that's how it happened. How did the three of them didn't snitch on each other? And it's pretty decent truck, so I figure I might as well make use of it. Is there something wrong with that, huh? Well, maybe you and Miss Sandwich should try to find the answer to that question together. Can we open it? I think perhaps the trunk should be turned over to the police, don't you? What are you on about? I am the police. Gina, if you wouldn't mind, could you maybe examine it? Please, 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 please. Alright. Do what you want. Thank you. Thank you. We shall make a detailed record of our examinations of the evidence. Okay, I will deal with you later. We have a lot to go. Ooh. Have you seen a huge gash across the side of the trunk here? It's going right through the leather into the metal behind. Gosh, for a metal chest like that to have been so badly damaged. Whatever made the gash must have struck the side of the truck with considerable force. Like a bullet. Nothing under it, nothing below. Ooh, blood. Look at this dark stain, do you think? Afraid so. I think it is blood. I knew you were gonna say that. So that presumably means it was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. It's the most logical conclusion. I think Gina has been carrying this around with her. If you didn't know better, I suppose it does look like a grease stain from all the fish and chips. Okay. Let's have a look inside. Ooh. Okay, what is this? I'm gonna start with... Really? Am I forced to only look at the paper and nothing else? Look, there is something inside. Let's see. A passport authorizing him to travel overseas. For Inspector Gregson to go... Yeah, you know. What is it? Found 31 of October, just one day before the incident. It was for travel. Really? Gregson went to France the day before his body was discovered. Are you joking that there is nothing else we can check? And okay, so it was a piece of paper. There's something stuck inside the truck here, lighting. It looked like a fragment of metal, but it edges so tightly, so I can't. Oh, maybe it's a sword and was broken. Don't cut yourself. You better leave it. No, don't leave it. Okay, so we are going to find a dagger or something. This feels like it has a false bottom with actually a secret compartment below. Really? That is all? Come on. There's nothing here. Okay. Tobias Gregson, ACDO 522, within a week from October. Port Dunker French, police business, permission to travel for the applicant from one additional person. Okay. What's the matter, Toby? Why is he acting so aggressive towards me all of a sudden? So now, hold on, be careful, it must be the truck. Toby, what you doing? You're gonna lick his face off. Another hodor. Then quickly, hail the carriage. Are we actually going to the hospital or something? Did he actually bite us? Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, are you alright? It's Susato. Holmes, we have a lot to talk about. Conscious again at last. A blessed relief, my dear fella. After all, to drop dead after a moderate licking by a small terrier, most unseemly. What is our reason is really irrelevant here, Mr. Sholmes. Okay, so how many things we have here he still has hiding for us? Hound of Baskerville, 10 years ago. Everything to do with Strongheart. Why did you keep Kazuma's identity, status a secret. Probably there is more if we go through the games again. I'm glad there is no lasting damage. How are you feeling? I'm fine, thank you. Did you bring me back here? What is it on my head? A bandage? Sadly, we have no ice, so that compress of sugar water. Sugar water. Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. It's first aid treatment that my father taught me. Oh, thank you. So, let us take tea when you're feeling up to it. But of course, no sugar in the patient cup. The bump of my head is troubling sweetly enough, don't worry. It's troubling. Hey, whenever you feel ready then. Okay. Holmes, we need to talk. Thank you for your concern, Mr. Sholmes. My dear fellow, thinking nothing of it, I must say, I'm quite startled when I heard you being attacked by a dog. For a moment, I feared that infamous murder of so many have come back from the dead. You mean the professor? Fortunately, I see your present throat is unscattered. That stiff, turned-up collar of yours obviously afforded some welcome protection. Was I that close to death? I only remember the dog licking my face over and 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 over. Well, if you wish to avoid such troubles in the future, a little mustard spread on the cheeks should do the trick. I should think that would balance the sweetness of your bandage rather splendid. Really? We are not going to talk to him about the fucking... Holmes, I need to present you with... There has to be something, come on! Okay. Let's talk over tea.
Mit dem Schwarzbiergebot brodelt wie ein Feuerberg.
This sounds like a perfect place for a 5-minute break. Let me take a small break, just go to the bathroom. Actually, we are over time already, because I started a little bit late. Let me go to the bathroom. This investigation must be about to end. Like, I would easily believe that this is the last scene. Maybe, yeah. So let me go to the bathroom real quick and then we can maybe finish this. Okay. What on earth is going on here? Am I having a bad dream? No. It's an old German folk song. Or rather a funny rendition, I think. That's the least of my concerns. Iris? Oh, she learned about her dad. Iris, what's the matter? Who is sprawling? That relaxed gentleman over there. You don't recognize your father? Come on! Iris? She even listening. Excuse me, sir. I do apologize for troubling you while you're singing so merrily, but... Would you be so kind to explain the situation? Well, that worked. A crooning gentleman and a mute young girl, a rather tantalizing juxtaposition, and one that appears to have incited the gods of deduction within me to find their voices true. This is not the moment for a dance of deduction, come on! The strains of reasoning with me are playing now as a delightful duet. She maybe have just learned that her dad is dead. Come on, my dude! One melody sings of a reunion full of nostalgia, while the other is a Marson theme about the great secret you're trying so desperately conceal, Iris. She turned white as a shit. So as usual, you have instantly seen the very heart of the matter. Yeah! And by the time my own brief performance is over, I feel sure this gentleman's song will have reached its finale. So then, to music land, where all sweetness and delicacy and harmony. Pray, do enjoy Harlock's latest logic and reasoning spectacular. Okay. I so wish we could just skip the second one. Really? It's just Professor Mikotoba gaming. Come on! Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly, he is Japanese with no grasp of the English language. It's just fucking Mikotoba. As evidenced by the Germanic song he sings and his apparent inability to understand when asked to desist. So, why is the man here at all and in such apparently high spirits? The answer, of course, Iris, is clearly known to you. Indeed, we only need to follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to reveal the particular part of this mystery. And the reason for the man's mildly irritation warbling is revealed by the herbal tea. You obviously offer our German guest a copy of our latest herbal blend. The tea's delectable flavor has made the man's spirit sour. And the result is the joyful dit tumbling incessantly from his limbs. I eagerly await sampling the flavor myself, that I may join the fellow in his state of elation. Now, the next question. Who exactly is the gentleman availing himself so thoroughly on the seat? As it happened a number of years ago now, a certain gentleman of German origin engaged my services in solving a particular delicate case. He requires the retrieval of a letter once sent to an acquaintance that might have proven problematic. In order to conceal his noble identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gottfried Sigmunds von Orsmeistein, the King of Germany. Really? If memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical. Yes, there can be no question, this mask belonged to the King of Germany. It would appear that His Majesty remembers the fine service I afforded him, and has decided to show his face again, mask and all, in order to express his gratitude. A well-mannered monarch indeed, wouldn't you agree, my dear fellow? So, the identity of the masked visitor is in fact my former client, the King of Germany. Indeed, his son is currently in London as well, enjoying the wonders of the great exhibition. Really? Iris, come on. I get it, but come on, just make him just yell shut up or something. But you leave us with one remaining imponderable. Yes, you, young Iris. But your apparently unexpected silence is unable to hide the truth. But your apparently unexpected silence is unable to hide the truth. Yes, the reason for your mutiness is concealed inside that knapsack. A £5 note, I believe. I must say, as young compatriot, I'm deeply saddened. It would appear that you have allowed yourself to be bribed into silence by His Royal Highness, earning yourself some spending money in exchange for keeping quiet about the King's secret. And now, the final piece of the puzzle. What is the secret you strive to hide in your silence, Iris? Ah yes, we need only to follow that brief involuntary twitch of our eyes to find the answer. Your attempt to abscond with that coffee cup. My favorite coffee cup, in fact. Or should I say the handle of my favorite coffee cup? It appears that His High-Spirited Highness broke it in the midst of his hijinks, which leads us to the sad truth. My favorite coffee cup have been broken by the King of Germany, and Iris you tried to conceal it because he bribed you. I shall have a bill sent via government channels to the Germany royal family for its replacement. To hide the coffee cup. Thus conclude Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this painful puzzle. Okay, can we start the actual puzzle now? Just enjoying the music, sorry.
dämpfen deine Wut. Her mit dem Knacker.
With her silence as well, the fellow's jovial warbling rather rings in the ear, does it not? Mr. Sholmes, I must say something does rather trouble me. Pray, Mrs. Susato, do tell. His Royal Highness doesn't appear to have moved a muscle since we arrived. You haven't said a word either, Iris. If Mr. Shum has it alright, you might as well own up now. Your reasoning isn't entirely without substance, I must admit. And one thing, Mr. Sholmes? Yet another grievance, Mr. Naruhodo, surely not. Well, I actually read the story of that case recently, the one you were just describing. And according to that at least, it wasn't the King of Germany, it was the King of Bohemia. Goodness, was it? Okay, so I do think we're gonna find out that she discovered that her dad is dead. Which means we're just going to be dancing and circling around her, spinning, going, and your dad is dead. Ha! We discovered the truth. So, yeah. That's quite true. Master Gods, the prince, testified to that in court. In his words, I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia. Oh, yeah, the boy, remember. I would ask you to keep that minor error to yourselves. It could easily become quite a scandal. I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that it's our turn now to make some corrections to the number of minor errors that may have slipped in. Yes, even Mr. Sholmes is willing to admit he might be slightly wide of the mark this time. Although it's clear that Iris is definitely hiding something. Give her a hug! We need to find out the truth behind this mysterious scene. But one truth is incontrovertible. My favorite coffee cup is no more. So, shall we embark again? On a joint presentation of Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly, he's German, with no grasp of the English language, as evident by the Germanic song. Why is the man here in such high spirits? The answer, of course, Iris, is clearly no to you. Indeed, we need only to follow those bright young eyes to unravel this particular part of this mystery. The reason the man's mildly irritating. Okay, so what? Is it some kind of mixed herb that gives you the urge to sing? Goodness, I should like to try some. I like to hear you sing, but this man... How long does he intend to keep up that tune, do you suppose? As I said, he's been stock still the entire time. If you look closely, his lips aren't moving either. Okay, so we are addressing the fact that his lips are not moving. I thought it was just like animation budget or something. I'm not sure what's actually responsible for the spirited singing, but I suspect the answer lies at the end of Iris' gaze. It's the fucking gramophone, isn't it? The gramophone still rarely sing around country. The sound certainly appears to be coming from the horn. You know what the fucking gramophone is, my dude.
Take that!
The reason for the mildly irritating warblings is revealed by the gramophone. Indeed, for no well-bred gentleman would break into an obscure folk song when making a social call. I mean, in other words, the gentleman isn't singing at all. In fact, it would appear the fellow is unconscious. Okay, so there was no budget to put an animation to stop it. Okay. Ah, the music seems to have stopped now. I ask you, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. How would I have purchased a recording of that gibberish? How should I know? Oh, never mind. On with the deduction. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly in the seat? As it happened numbers of years ago, a certain gentleman of German origin. Okay, I'm now rereading. Concealed his identity, mask, the gentleman's name was Wilhelm, the King of Germany. Remember, seems the mask worn was identical. There can be no question. The mask belonged to the King of Germany. Although we have already established it was actually the King of Bohemia, still Mr. Sholmes intends to persist with the Germany theory for some reason. Come to think of it, the young prince was wearing a mask as well, wasn't he? Master Gods, the boy who you have in tears. Don't remind me or anyone else. Do you suppose all members of aristocracy in mainland Europe wear masks? I'm sure they do. Well, probably anyway. The point is, this mask does not belong to any king. No. As we know. Because we can identify the true owner of the mask. Yeah, it was Cosmos.
Take that!
Why are we even going so far for this? This doesn't need a dance. There can be no question. The mask belongs to Kazuma Asugi. In other words, my memory is subliminally unreliable. Only you could try to make that sound positive. Kazuma mask has been languishing on this metal chest for several days. Though that doesn't explain why the gentleman is wearing it now. But it's now a simple matter to determine our guest's true identity. After all, the gentleman is unconscious. We need only to excuse ourselves and advance, gently lift the mask and peer behind it. I don't believe it! Ah! Father! I'm afraid, Miss Suzuki must be... No, I think not, Mr. Schultz. Then it would appear our logic and reasoning has once again revealed the truth. This mysterious visitor is my unconscious father. Logic and reasoning of, or just looking and saying. Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable. Yes, you, young Aris. But your apparently inexplicable silence is unable to hide the truth. Yes, the reason for your mutinous is concealed inside that knapsack. That's the found note poking from Aris' knapsack. Oh dear, cannot be sure. Most money that we encounter is in coin form. I know, I'm not even sure we have seen any banknotes here in Britain at all, have we? Anyway, Father would never have paid money for Aris' silent. He suddenly seems like the silent type himself, though, judging by his present state. Some other reason, perhaps Aris is trying so hard to give away, is something entirely possible. Aside from the note, I saw something here. Metal chest. Let's examine it. I did want to open this at some point. It contains important documents, doesn't it? Yes, details of the cases Mr. Sholmes has worked over the years. Writing up by Aris' father, if I'm remembering correctly. Aris insisted the chest is kept locked at all times. She never once showed me the inside. Well, oh, it's open right now. The contents are invaluable to her, I suppose, and entirely irreplaceable. But look at it. The catch is unlocked for once. So it is. It's hard to ignore. Very. I never seen that chest unlocked before in all the time we have been staying here at Baker Street.
Take that!
Yes, the reason for her mutiness is concealed inside the metal chest. An excellent observation, but upon closer inspection, there is something different about the chest that appearance. kept locked at all times, yet now the catch is open. Evidently, this has something to do with your refusal to speak, Aris. But it is simple enough matter to incite you to speak, I'm sure. I may need to open this chest. Don't be an asshole to her! Here we go. No, Hurley, don't! Nice! Ah, that's why! Mr. Sholmes! Ah! He's dead! Never! Hurley, I told you not to open it. Ah, so you found their voice now, Iris. In other words, what just happened clearly reveals the truth here. Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is something different than the usual days of deduction you perform with Mr. Sholmes, isn't it? Well, he left me alone in the ballroom floor, so I'm gonna have to dance this next part solo. Anyway, I need to get the bottom of this for my own peace of mind. Now, Iris isn't usually the silent type, so... You mean you don't actually know the answer yet, despite knowing the knowing point of the finger? Isozato? Sometimes a man needs to point his finger first and think later. Well, if you said so, I think we better examine Iris more closely and try to rescue the situation then.
Take that!
Key! Yes, the reason for her silence until now is the key behind her back. Key for what? When Mr. Sholmes was thrown into the air before. Just before you called to him to stop, you slipped something out of your mouth. Oh, was that supposed to be it was inside her mouth? That something is the key now in your hand. No doubt the key to the chest. You're so clever, Runa. So now it becomes clear. Thanks to Mr. Sholmes' graphic demonstration, you can well imagine what happened here. But... Professor Mikotoba also opened that metal chest, only to be punched in the air. And land sprawled on the seat. Oh wait, that doesn't explain all the facts. What about the stylish scarf and the cup of tea above all? How would he be wearing Kazuma-sama's mask? Well, those curious details, I can think of only one explanation. Clearly, an unbelievable miracle took place in this room. Isn't that right, Iris? Consider how the room was arranged before this whole painful experience took place. When Professor Mikotoba opened the chest, completely unaware of what awaited inside, the mask was flung into the air just as he was, only to land neatly on his face. The teacup journey to the air ended up being caught in his finger. You mean the stylish scarf? Is the tablecloth. Now, are we going to create an animation to showcasing that? No fucking way. This is the Great Detective Office, after all, a place of miraculous deductions. Would you expect anything less? Okay, so she hasn't found out about her dad yet. Yes, you're right. He's okay. This was a gigantic fucking waste of time. I'm sorry, it was. I don't like the gimmick of the deduction dance. I really don't. Brilliant, Runa. Thus concludes Ryonosuke Naruhodo Great Deduction on this punchy puzzle. So then, why don't I make a fresh pot of tea for us all?
Objection!
Oh, you have a good objection. An admirable performance, Mr. Naruhodo. But in the final act of the show, you rather missed everything of importance. Mr. Sholmes, if you would cast your mind back to my earlier deduction. Iris, clearly you're hiding a great secret. She is, from the look of her face, The Sholmes must be right. Whatever that great secret is, the cat isn't out of the bag yet. So, I put it to you again. You were attempting to abscond with that cup, that coffee cup. It really is a shame of Mr. Sholmes' cup must have been smashed when Professor Mikotoba opened the chest. Oh dear, so many things seem to have been broken here. But now that the deduction has taken a different direction, Iris doesn't seem to be trying to hide the broken cup anymore. In other words, her great secret is something else. Let's put observation skills. I mean, I did think it was the note. Clearly, the next is going to be the answer. I'm not sure why you're so intent on showing Iris' bag to be complicit in these events. Did the developer expect the player to do that before multiple times? Because it's not big enough to carry things around, Mr. Naruhodo. That's what bags are for. So the next act might never see the limelight, you know what I mean? I really wouldn't like to say. Aha! Case file.
Take that!
You was doing a good job of hiding that. You were attempting to abscond with that Casey file. Iris, as you know very well, nothing escapes the attention of a great detective. Oh no. A visit to Scotland Yard autopsy. Okay, so now the days of deduction is doing actually something. Okay. Visit Scotland Yard autopsy laboratory earlier today, and Dr. Gorey informed us. And the autopsy report of Clint Van Zix have gone missing. Clint Van Zix? Yes, I do seem to recall. But some years ago, I asked to see the reports in question. You were with me, weren't you, Iris? You mean it was you, Iris? So those papers you have there are... I'm sorry. Forgive me. Of course I do. Come on, girl. You know you can't do no wrong. Elementary. Still could have been just one go, but okay. In true. I would like to have a thought. I would like to have thought I could have predicted the bobby trapped chest. But it caught me completely off guard. I was very nearly the late consulating detective Harlock Sholmes. Sorry, Hurley. So you mean the autopsy report really is... Yes, I took it from the lab, even though I knew it was very important. Was there something in it that troubled you, Iris? Not exactly something that troubled me. Something I've been looking for. When I saw this report, when I saw the writing in it, I knew it was that. The writing. Your father's writing. What do you really mean? Iris, it must have been something that is hard for her to talk about. Forgive me for interrupting, my dear fellow. Mr. Sholmes, what is it? I feel as though the poor unconscious gentlemen on the saddle have been somewhat forgotten. Ah, father! Perhaps we should find our guest somewhere more peaceful to rest? The Naruhodo, yes. Would you be so kind as to land him in your bed? We must do our very best to make him comfortable, I feel. Ah, yes, of course, I'll help you carry him up. So will I. Oh, no, I can manage alone, thank you. You have tea to enjoy. We shouldn't want Iris to brew to stew. So now he's leaving the scene because he knows something and he can't be here to hear this. I wonder if perhaps that was deliberate. Maybe Mr. Sholmes is making himself scarce to give Iris a chance to talk more freely. Or because, you know, secret information. We must use the opportunity to talk to Iris. Is this emblem here the same one from the dog collar? No, I'm crazy. Okay. I find I find out what's going on and find out what's going on. Would you like to tell us about it, Iris, about your father? I'm sure I told you before, didn't I? That Daddy used to be Hurley partner. Yes. And the notes about all the cases they solved together are kept inside that metal chest. That's right. Hurley told me, you see. He said that Daddy is somewhere far away now, so we cannot meet. That is one way to describe it. Then, when I secretly unlocked the chest and read through the papers inside, I started to build a picture in my head of what Daddy must be like. Well, that is only natural. You're just like any other girl your age. I read that Daddy was a professor of medical science, so I studied and took my degree too. Well, that is only natural, I suppose. In that respect, you're not quite like any other girl your age, though. But there was one thing I could never find out. Daddy's name. His name wasn't anywhere on the notes that he have made about his work with Hurley. But then one day, that when happened, is it? When you saw the autopsy report, you finally managed to work it out, is that right? Yes. So it was the handwritten in the report that caught her eye. His name not being here is such a gigantic thing. When I saw the writing on that report, I could hardly believe it. I know that handwriting, I thought to myself. Because it was the same as the writing you see on your father's case notes. Exactly. I was desperate to compare the two properly. I need to see them side by side. I asked the doctor in the laboratory, but I was told I couldn't take the report away. Even worse, I was told that was the first and last time I would be allowed to even look at it there. So I decided to steal it. Sorry, we are very over time. When I compared the autopsy report with the case notes I have here, there was no doubt. The handwriting was exactly the same. It was Daddy. And the signature of the coroner at the bottom of the autopsy report read Dr. John H. Wilson. So that is how I finally found out. I learned Daddy's name at last. You see, ever since then, I called myself Iris Wilson. There is a lot of space here for twists. There is a lot of space here. And that is also when I have the brilliant idea of writing stories all about Daddy's exciting times with Hurley. I decided there and then that I'll write the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Oh, Iris, I have no idea the stories have quite such a deep personal significance for you. You can see why the autopsy report was so important to her now, and why she was prepared to break the law to get her hand on it. I must apologize, Iris. This is really all my fault. Hurley, I made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I'll keep the details about your father a secret. I know, I've been very naughty. I'll take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gorry and apologize, I promise. Let me look at them first. Yes, we will go together, I think. Then, let me look at it for you until we get there. Autopsy report, John H. Wilson. Clink van Zix, British, time of death between 9 p.m. and midnight. Death from single stab wound to the heart, other superficial external wounds indicative of a duel. Additional notes, recent scarlet ink stains visible on the little and ring finger of the right hand, while no documenting corresponding ink was found. Vital evidence recovered from the victim's stomach during the autopsy. Credit to Inspector Gregson for petitioned so doggedly for the autopsy proceedings. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body. So the stab wound and nothing else damaged inside the body. John H. Wilson. I must go and water my herbs, I think. I'll see you all later. Poor Iris, she must be feeling awful. I know Mr. Sholmes is here for her, but still. Ah. What's the meaning of this, Mr. Sholmes? There's something I missed. I read it slowly to make sure I didn't miss anything. Mr. Sholmes? Oh dear me. So, you notice, I see. But that wouldn't mean... What on earth is the matter, Mr. Zato? You turn white as a sheet. In this autopsy report, Mr. Naruhodo, the one from 10 years ago, the writing isn't Dr. Wilson at all. What do you mean? Because I know this writing very well. This writing is my father. Ooh, fun! Mikotoba was the one following Sherlock. He is the true Watson. Who the fuck are you? What? Professor Mikotoba. Are you... Is Susato and Iris going to be like sisters somehow? So we don't have the plot line of her father being dead? No, that's way too far. Way too far. Okay. Mikotoba was this... I kind of want to not think for today and leave this for tomorrow because, oh god, that is some big implications. Indeed, it's true. And now you know, my dear fellows. And that's how he has the Hound of Baskerville notes. Because he was the true Watson. Oh, that's how. And now you know, my dear fellas. No, I don't know anything. What on earth does that mean, Mr. Sholmes? Because the idea that is slowly forming in my mind is too extraordinary to believe. Please, you have to explain. So, the autopsy report was actually penned by Professor Mikotoba. That makes no sense. It's not possible, surely. Not possible, my dear fella. Pray, take a deep breath and think again. It was the assistant, yeah. You're right in some ways. It actually makes a great deal of sense. It does. 10 years ago, when my father returned to Japan after his extended study tour in Britain. And prior to his return, where was Dr. Mikotoba engaged? Of course, it was the assistant of Dr. Wilson laboratory, learning about forensic science. And as an assistant, he would have aided with the dissection work, making detailed notes, which would be assembled into a full autopsy report. Once the work was done, the head coroner would check the contents and put his signature on the document. In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson in the report would be his signature at the end. I see. So Iris got the wrong end of the stick. You saw and assumed the whole report was written by Dr. John H. Wilson, which is very understandable, of course. What a complicated situation. Thinking about it, mostly what of what we know about you, Mr. Sholmes, comes from published stories of your exploits. Yes, The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, written by Iris. And we really have no way of knowing what fact and what is fiction. Most troubling for you, my dear fellows, I'm sure. So, what about these supposed partners of yours? Did he really exist or not? Ah, you have come straight to the point, I see. Please come straight to the answer. I believe Iris explained in one of her installments. He was a trusted comrade and the only person I could truly have called a friend. And did this partner of yours truly make a record of all your cases? Are his notes really stored inside this metal chest? Absolutely, my dear madam. Absolutely. So, where is your partner now? Flying, we rarely meet. You see, he lives on the other side of the world. But if this autopsy report and the contents of your old cases were printed by the same man, and if the autopsy report was written, though not signed by your famous partner, there would be only one logical conclusion. Pray, impress me. Your partner would have to be Eugene Mikotoba. In other words, Miss Susato's father. On my word, Naruhodo? Yes? You're coming along wonderfully. You have hit upon the method at last. You finally grasped the art of deduction. You mean to say... Allow me to introduce you. To my great friend and partner, Mikotoba. Professor Mikotoba, you are the fucking Watson. Who the fuck is Iris? Does this mean that you're the real Dr. Wilson? No, my dear, I'm still my old self, Eugene Mikotoba, your father. Who the fuck is Wilson? It's obviously too much for Susato to take in. I must say though, how my old friend have attained worldwide celebrity as a great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all. I still remember the first time we met. Ah, pray remind me, when was it again, Mikotoba? 16 years ago, Sholmes. Ah yes, quite, 16 years ago. I just arrived from Japan with Seishiro and Genshin. I was in search of lodgings close to the hospital, some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. The rents are devilish high in that particular area. That's right, so I decided I need someone to share lodgings and the expense. And was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation. I was a Kaloo fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before now. I was working at the hospital chemical laboratory at the time, indulging my curiosities for a little gain. The situation of our cohabitation led us to pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe, it was a mere 6 years, we have great many adventures. But in the last year of Mikotoba's stay in Britain, the most infamous of cases presented itself. A case which you have become rather familiar yourself, the professor killing. After the trial, Seishiro and I were summoned back home. Hardly surprising given the circumstances. So there you have it. Who the fuck is Iris? As you know, all the details recorded by my trusty chronicler remain in that metal chest. This is amazing. Professor Mikotoba really is Mr. Sholmes' famous partner. Father, did you have a scandal and have another daughter? Father? Goodness, my dear, what a cutting look. As your daughter, I'm very proud to learn you are the great detective, great partner. But nevertheless, there is another mystery that I really must ask you to explain right now. And that is... You know very well what it is. The unsolved matter of Iris' father. Of course, I most forgot about that one. I should have seen this coming, I suppose. You see, when you are young and drink a lot of alcohol and you escape your country the day your daughter is born. Some things just lead to another, you know. Iris told us that all the notes about the Great Detective Adventures that are in that metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Sholmes? That is indeed what I told you, young Iris. But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, father, and you wrote all those case notes, then Iris' father must be you. On my word, Miss Susato. You're coming along wonderfully as well. You two have hit upon the method at last. You have finally grasped the art of deduction. What you always told me, father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago. And you left me in grandmother's case while you embarked on your study tour to Britain. And I have accepted that. But all this about Iris? Oh, there it is. There it is. No, hold on a minute. It was very complicated, you know? The alcohol, the dancing, I mean, it's really not what you think. Perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is? There it is. The eyes go from ice cold to red hot just before... No, really, you got out the wrong end of the stick. Show me, say something, man. It's quite enough, my fiercey fellas. Mr. Sholmes, when did he get all dressed up? Well, I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past. Mikotoba and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion. Susato, there is no way you are gonna let him go. Come on. It's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go? Why, my dear fellow, is that not obvious? My partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. So, get your coat, Mikotoba. The game is afoot. Sholmes, I really must give Susato a full explanation, I think. Later, when the plot demands. Right now, we need to keep the viewer in suspense. Our carriage awaits. Let's go. You haven't changed one iota, have you? I mean, really, I visit our home after 10 long years. And when I open that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicable passed out. And as if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regain conscious, I'm plunging straight into all this. Father, please. Go with Mr. Sholmes now. I'm gonna prepare the knife. When you are back. I no doubt that whatever happened, you were acting everyone but... they really educated you correctly, girl. Oh, girl. I trust you completely. Oh, I'm so sorry for you, Susato. And sending the Great Detective and his great partner off on renewed adventures together is more than I could hope it for my wildest dream. The moment that door is closed, I hope to see a dagger in your hand, woman. Or a knife. I guess a knife would make more sense here. Very well then, we'll speak again later. How is this investigation still fucking going? How long is this case? Holy shit! How do we still have a fifth case after this? Oh my god. So I believe your own work is done for the day. I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. Yes, Naruhodo, good luck in battle and in reaching a decision. Okay, so this is the end of today's the investigation. Okay, a decision about whenever to go back to Japan, I suppose.
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself.
Ooh.
It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth, and that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
This feels weird. How is this the fourth and not final case? What do you mean end? What do you mean end? What complete episode 4? What do you mean complete episode 4? No, no, it's not done. No, 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 no. What do you mean it's no? Motherfucker. Why? Why? Because every game has 5 cases and you need 5 cases? Did you thought the case would be way too long so you broke in 2? Ah, this is throwing me off. Why? I guess. Dual Destiny did it first. Did it? I don't remember Dual Destiny. I played that when it came out. It was so long ago. That was so much time on the space station. Maybe it did, yeah. Ah, that was so long ago. Oh, so that's why this investigation was so long. Okay. Okay, so we only have 1 case left, and I'm going to assume it's not going to be gigantic since we already saw half of it. How many days? I still have Friday and then 4 more days next week before the next game. Should be fine. Ah, this was fun. Okay, so much to think about. Who the fuck is Iris? Ah, this was fun. This was fun. I tried to stop stream at 10 o'clock. It's 5 to 11. Oh, 50 minutes over clock. Oh, I need to hit the bed immediately. Ah. Okay, let's do the usual outro before I go. Oh god, I'm not gonna go to sleep. I'm going to spend the entire night thinking about this shit. Okay, as always, thank you very much for watching today's stream. If you're interested in watch more of my content live, I try to stream on Twitch every day. If you're interested in watch some of my old content, I try to archive everything on my YouTube channel. As always, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you will join me tomorrow. Bye bye. There is so much shit. That's how we are going to have the case be Strongheart be the criminal, because it's just 1 case. That's how. Ah, I need to go. I need to go. I do need to hit the bed. I do hit. Oh, I want to keep thinking. Okay, let me go. I need to go. Once again, bye bye.